Well, here we go again, Sunday Night Live with my man. I know all you guys in the comments love Angelo. It's so funny. The very first comment is, gosh, not this douche again.
Is that really the first comment?
That's the very first
Dude, I don't know why it is crazy. I don't know why your audience hates my guts, because my audience loves me. And we do 500,000 views a month. And some of them don't, obviously. There's hate watchers for sure. And a lot of people prefer Jacob over me. But it's like your audience, like maybe it's just the loud ones. I don't know. And I get it. It went from like prim and proper Big John to Big Ange, who's just like a little more animated and has some inflection in his voice and makes opinions. But it's like, Jesus, dude, they hate me. That's why you like me, because they hate me.
Yeah.
So all the hate directed towards you, just
all those ones that hated you or hated me when John was, now they are all full blown in on you. Like I love it. The only time they like me is when I call you on your bullshit where you're just glazing Islam and stuff. That's the only time it's like, yeah, finally somebody called out Josh for his bullshit. It's okay, man. It's okay. Enough about you. Look, and I want to give you. I like to gas you up off screen, but I'll gas you up a little bit now. Like I said, you've worked in the sport for a long period of time. You've managed.
You don't need to give these people my credentials. They like me or they don't.
I like to gas you up every once in a while. Let people know, like, hey, you're not just some bum I picked up off the street, even though I did pick you up off the street one day when I met you. And I was like, you know what? I think, we could probably work well together. And then I realized you talk about gambling. I love to talk about gambling. And I think you do a great job, on your We Want Picks channel, and I think it's awesome. And Jacob is absolutely amazing as well. I've yet to meet the guy in person because he keeps avoiding me, but he does avoid. He does, but I like him though. I like what he does. He does a great job when he does his lives, bro. I think he's probably one of the best.
He is the straight up best fight companion live streamer in the game, because what he does is he engages the audience. Like they're just placing live bets as the fight goes on. He's grabbing bets from the chat. He's including the chat. He's not just like watching fights and reading the chat. And it's funny because the bigger you get, the less you have to do, if that makes sense. Like if you've got 20,000 people watching you live, you don't really have to do that much. They're there. They're going to be there no matter what. But Jacob's like, he gets like 1,500 people watching live, which is a shit ton. And no, he is literally the best live streamer. But the dynamic with me and him is like, I'm the old, mature, level-headed one, and he's like saying crazy shit. And then we come here, and you're 58, so now I'm the young crazy one, which is a nuts dynamic.
It is true. Look, you are definitely a desired taste. Like you're one of those guys. Like
it's first of all, it's acquired taste.
Whatever.
And you say stuff like that, and then your audience will still be like, Josh is smart, Angelo's stupid. He just said desired instead of acquired. He says,
right. These guys have been riding with me since I said hindsight is 50-50. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Like these are the things I said. Look, I lie even when I tell the truth. These are the type of things that come out of my mouth. Like you just have to realize that I'm out here doing this to make fun of you and myself and have a good time. You guys don't really think that I think I talk this way, do you? Like this is how I am. I
can tell you this is how he talks.
No, he cannot tell you. No. I think it is. I think it's definitely. Look, we have a lot of fun off camera, and when we hang out and we get together and stuff. But I love kind of toting you a little bit. I love stroking the ego a little bit, gassing you up. What do they call it these days by the kids? Glazing.
I think.
Yeah. And it's like whatever it's called. I think I enjoy the fact that I can go like, hey man, my guy knows what he's talking about. He's managed fighters. He's been in the fight game a long time. You've been around for a while, man. And you train with Glover Teixeira. You were one of his wrestling partners, during some of his fight camps.
You've actually been out forever ago, in Connecticut.
Forever ago, yeah. Back when you were like probably 215. Now you're 275.
Great shape, fast as hell.
Fast as fuck, man. Fast as fuck. I remember just always thinking the little bird that runs around, like, and the guy's chasing after it, almost like Rocky.
Yeah.
How Arman did the whole like, oh, come here, Ilya, come here.
Yeah.
The duck. Thought it was great. Zach Skate 14. Thanks for the super chat, man, for the $2. I appreciate it. You're growing on us, Angelo. Keep doing you.
That's all I know how to be. I only know how to be me. Sometimes I'm in a better mood than other times, but I only know how to be me. There's no act. I can clean it up, but it's not an act.
And for those of you guys that are married at home, you guys understand, like, our moods are all predicated upon our wives and how their mood is.
5 minutes.
So that's how it is. So it can change real quick. Like, we could have had a great day, but you look, right when we say we got to film, that shit could get turned around real quick. Oh yeah. The honey-do list comes out right before you say you got to film. Yeah, but let me go ahead and talk about this one as well. I'm going to show this one here. It says right here, big Josh. My name is Josh. Love from New Zealand, brother. Let's go, Merab, Pantoja, and Brandon Moreno for the W's. Hey, man, we're actually going to break down that card right now. We actually talked about that right before we came on. We're going to talk about that fight card, and then we'll get into all the drama that that comes along with 324, a little bit of 325, and all of that nonsense. But let's go ahead and have some fun with that. I appreciate you, Drizzy Goat. What is that? EQ8C something. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the comment. And also too, I also got to give you some love on this as well. So Zaxis 814, I want to just say thanks, to show you up on the screen and let you guys know I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for the super chat, and let's keep them coming, man. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching us tonight. Let's have some fun with this, Ange. Let's talk about the fight card that's coming up, 323. This one's kind of like flying under the radar because of all the drama that's going on with the CBS Paramount deal, plus the fights that have been booked and everything like that. But how do you see this fight? Now, you brought up some great stuff off camera, and you said this is weird because is Merab the underdog or no?
No, you mentioned Moreno, and I said Moreno's the underdog. So I've broken down this card twice. What I do on my channel is I break down every fight on every card in detail, go through it all. Every Sunday, no matter what, there's a new video breaking down the next card. So I've actually technically broken down this card twice. I did it last week before the week off, and I did it again today. When I did it last week before the week off, I said in the video, I am picking Brandon Moreno, and I can already feel the Tatsuro Taira fan base coming for me. I already feel it. This video's not even out yet. So if you agree with me, just let's get ahead of the random people jumping on Tatsuro Taira. Tons of comments, Moreno. I misread that situation. It seems to be most people are on the Brandon Moreno side. So when the odds came out and he was the underdog, I was a little bit surprised. Obviously, public opinion and odds don't have a direct correlation, but if everybody feels one way and everybody's betting, literally money moves the lines. The fight that has everybody split, the fight that I'm getting the most amount of pushback on is the Petr Yan Merab. I picked Merab. It's a rematch. It's from 2.5 years ago. I am getting a ton of Petr Yan wins this fight. Yan's going to win. You're an idiot. Crazy the amount of people that are picking Yan in this fight.
Yeah, you would think, right? Because what's the ratio? I think whatever the percentage is, I think it's like 80% in a rematch where the guy won the first fight. They pretty much win the second fight. And I know, like, sure, it can happen 20% of the time. It can happen. The other guy wins, but at the level in which this is, I mean, and it was a very dominant performance over Petr Yan.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it wasn't that long ago. Like, my whole thing, when I break down a rematch, to me, if it's like 5 years ago, I don't care. Like, I don't care. People evolve, people grow. Like, you get 5 years is an insanely long time. This is 2.5 years. That's kind of out of my window of caring. That's still a little while ago, but it was a very one-sided fight the first time. It was not competitive at all. I don't know of any wild extenuating circumstances in that fight. And since then, Merab has just been more and more dominant with every single fight.
Yeah, you know what it is, though, is that, like, I think people get used to seeing the guy win. And then also, too, they're expecting him to slip up and slow down. And I don't get that vibe from him. I don't get the vibe that, like, he's someone that takes days off. He loves training. He loves being in the gym. I mean, it's not like he's out there chasing women. He's ugly as hell. So it's not like he's pulling chicks in the nightclub, right?
I think he is actually pulling chicks.
Is he really?
And he's not a Muslim. A lot of people think he's Muslim, but he's not. And the only reason that matters is because Muslims don't drink alcohol, and they don't. He does. He can get after it. So if he is getting after it, it's not affecting his in-cage performance.
No, I mean, he's out there definitely putting on a show, and he's got the cardio and the grind and all that. I think he just really enjoys being a gym rat. There's not really much else for him to do. And I know I was kind of just giving him a hard time, but look, I'm poking fun because look, everyone's talking about how, he's ugly, he's this, he's that.
Who the hell is everybody? Who said he's ugly?
Oh man, it's out there, man. It's out there. I saw Twitter
Where is
today.
it?
People were talking about it. It's so funny. I just saw a clip today. Who's the MMA Joey guy?
That dude's ugly.
Okay, but him, and then also it's funny, he posted a tweet of Guru saying that Merab was ugly.
It's like a
So,
Spider-Man meme.
those two guys, I guess they have beef between each other.
At least Guru's like funny. You can disagree with the sentiment of what he says because he does say some vile shit, but he's at least funny and clever. MMA Joey, I've never really absorbed his content, but that dude is just he's just grifting. He got a bunch of likes and views by hating on Guru, so he's just going to go that direction. But he is, not to get this wildly off topic, he is what people thought Guru was, right? Everybody thought he was like either in a wheelchair or 900 pounds and like this ugly troll. And then he takes a picture with DDP. It's like, oh, he's like 6'4". Like he's actually whatever. MMA Joey actually is like
in a wheelchair,
a slob in a basement. Like he actually is that. Which is just so funny that he's like, oh, but this is my whole identity now. I'm just gonna make fun of this guy.
Well, I haven't seen. I've only seen the MMA Joey's content on Twitter or X or whatever, and I've only seen like what people post of.
He doesn't do a lot of YouTube
on Instagram and on X as well. So, yeah, when they get like negative, I just kind of like turn it off. When they start saying, and I got on you about this. You did the whole thing with Sean Brady. Oh, what are you doing? That
was a live reaction. You can't.
That was a live reaction. Yeah,
it was a live reaction, and my frustration.
Crazy.
And I didn't insult his religion, his belief system, his family. I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? You didn't shoot a single takedown. Yeah. What, like, frustration with the game plan, which seems fair.
Yeah, you can be frustrated, especially for you, right? You got money always riding on things. So I
didn't even bet on that fight. I was just furious at how it went down.
All right, so give me your breakdown as best you can on the Merab and Yan fight. I think that Yan is going to have a lot better performance. I think this fight will be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. And I think Piotr has a very good chance of catching him on the entrance. I think in some way, somehow catching him on the entrance. But in those clinch moments and in that fence moment and all those, it's going to be Merab. And I've also seen Yan slow down as you get into round 3, 4, and 5. He is getting a little bit older in age. He's not old by any means, but I'm saying that he's getting a little bit older, and he never was someone that had a ton of output. He was a great boxer, he's a very good hammer, by the way. We haven't yet to really see him be a full-on nail, like where he just gets absolutely destroyed. But he is somebody that when he is putting it on you, man, he's relentless. He's vicious with his striking. He picks and chooses his shots. He's very accurate. I just feel like if he can touch Merab once or twice with some good, solid shots, he might be able to put him away. I'm still obviously going to go with Merab. I think the cardio is going to be the end all be all thing that really pushes Merab to the point where the output's not going to be enough to really catch him anymore coming in.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if Merab has a flaw, it would be his chin, right? He's been dazed before. He's been rocked a little bit. We haven't seen him out, but he's been rocked and dropped and wobbled before. And Piotr Yan is a phenomenal striker. And not only is a phenomenal striker, he's worked in wrestling as well. He's got great, well-timed offensive takedown. Like, Piotr Yan is very good. He was the world champion for a reason, but Merab is just a different level. The non-stop, relentless pressure and cardio is next level. He doesn't care what's coming his way. He will shoot 38 takedowns and just keep going without slowing down. And that is impossible to train for. He might literally have the greatest cardio we have ever seen in this sport, ever in the history of time. And how do you prepare for that? Nobody in your gym can go that hard. Nobody can simulate that pressure, even if you're swapping out fresh bodies. Like, I just think Piotr Yan is very, 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 very good. But I just don't know how he wins this fight outside of a lucky, landed clean on the way in. But that could happen in any fight versus anybody.
Yeah, Piotr Yan's his takedown defense is really good. And the way he does it stylistically, like he's able to like someone hikes his leg up to their head, he's able to just kind of like push them away, and he's flexible enough to get himself out of those positions. His takedowns, he's not much of a wrestler, but he's very good inside that clinch, the foot sweeps, those type of things, inside trips. He's able to hit those pretty often, and he does it pretty well. He foot swept, I believe, Uriah Faber like multiple times. Sooner they got to the clinch, right to the foot sweep. I'm sure those are things that Merab will be prepared for, and he was prepared for in the first fight. I just think that the nonstop pressure, the willingness to shoot and not get it and still be like, oh, no big deal, I'll get the next one. People don't realize how difficult that is for a fighter. our egos get in the way. That's why we're fighters, because we're egotistical maniacs, and we decide that we want to beat somebody else up. We really believe that, hey, if I get this takedown, I continue to get this takedown. If we don't get it, it knocks on our ego. We're like, shit, man, I couldn't get it. And it starts bothering us. And then it starts affecting our performance. And then the adrenaline dump starts to happen. Merab doesn't have that switch. He's like, yeah, whatever. No big deal.
Yeah.
Keeps going. Khabib had the same exact thing. Like, if he didn't get a takedown, he's like, whatever. I'll get the next one. I'll get the next one. And he just keeps going, keeps going. Cain Velasquez has a very similar thing. When he fought Junior Dos Santos the second time and the third time, he knew that if I don't get the first one, I'll just get the second. If I don't get the second, I'll get the third. Those guys are built different. Those guys are mentally just built different than a lot of the other fighters that are fighting inside the octagon. And so I'm going to lean obviously towards Merab once he's already done it and he did it so convincingly the first fight. I'm going to go with him over Jan, but I also think this fight will be a lot closer. I think Jan will be able to steal 1, maybe even 2 rounds. I don't think he won a round in the first fight.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, Jan is very, very good. He's very good. I just don't know how it's closer, because for it to be closer means Jan improved at something at a faster rate than Merab did, and he's closing that gap. I think the gap is widening. Merab, like the way he beat Sean O'Malley the second time versus the first time, the way that he just beat the absolute piss out of Corey Sandhagen. Like, Merab, these last couple of fights has looked so different. He's not just a pillow-fisted nonstop wrestler. Now he's looking for finishes. He was outstriking Corey Sandhagen. It wasn't even just desperate takedown attempts. I think Merab leveled up so much that it's a crazy game to try to play catch up. And it's not as if like Petr Yan is this guy that only lost to Merab, and since then he's been on an absolute tear. Yes, since he beat Merab, he's won a bunch of fights, but he beat Song Yudong, arguably a little too young for that. He bullied Divas and Figueiredo, and he beat Marcus McGee. These are not the same level of opponent. I just think Merab has gotten so much better since their first fight, and he dominated the first fight. He had 11 takedowns in that fight.
Okay, but here's the thing. You say he's leveled up, like Merab has leveled up and got even further apart. You know what the difference is between the two? One is fighting 5 times in this year.
Yeah.
And the other one's fought 3 times in 3 years? Basically, like something around there, right? It's like it's a year and a half or 2 years. He's fought in 3 times. That's not how you level up. One of my biggest regrets, and I've said this multiple times, is I didn't fight more often. I should have fought a lot more. You get so much better being inside that cage in a real fight. Sure, you can spend as much time as you want sparring against the best guys in your gym, but you're getting better, but you're mainly maintaining and you're making some fine tweaks here and there. But where you get the best is inside that cage. Then it just feels like it feels like a second home to you. You're like, oh, this is where I live. This is where I make my living. And the sad part is that most fighters will sit there and they'll duck and dodge, and all the UFC calls and Strikeforce will call, Bellator will call, and they'll be like, oh no, I'm waiting for the perfect opponent. There is no perfect opponent. Yeah. Because when you get to the title, you have to be able to fight everybody. And Merab has proven, I don't care. Give me
his first title defense was Umar.
Yeah, and he tried to get out of that one, by the way.
It felt like a punishment, honestly. Yeah. Like, oh, okay, you beat our guy. Guess who you're fighting?
Yeah,
and he passed that, and then it's just like, holy crap.
Yeah, he tried to avoid that fight, but even though he did, he still looked great in that fight. You know, he
showed up injured. His shin had like he had a wild staph infection. Like he showed up to that fight injured with an unreasonably short turnaround, and he still won that fight just to come back, win another one after that, come back, win another one. Like, it's what Merab has done this year is crazy. I was surprised to see the amount of love for Jan, and not because Jan shouldn't get love. Jan's a very good fighter, but I was just surprised to see the love was coming from a disrespectful praise for Merab. It's like, who is still at this point, who is still disrespecting Merab? Yeah. Who is doing that still?
Joseph Paramount 6599, I believe is what it was, said, hey, that Petr Yan is actually 2 years younger than Merab.
Sure.
So, okay, but that being said, though, look, once you've already won the title, you've defended it a couple times, you all of a sudden now get older. What it is that you've chased that dream, you've hit that dream, and then it's hard to get it back. You don't train as much, you don't fight as much. You know, back in the day, Petr was like fighting a lot more often. He He was a little bit more active. He was like really just putting it on people. And he was fighting guys like Uriah and Aldo, and he was putting it on them. You could tell that after he won the title and after he lost it, it's not the same. He's not the same guy after he lost to Sterling. And Merab hasn't tasted that yet. He's still living his dream. The confidence is at an all-time high. He doesn't feel old because he's finally living that moment that he's been waiting so long for, because Aljo was holding it up, and then everything was not Aljo wasn't holding it up. Aljo was the champion. He didn't want to fight him, so I shouldn't say it that way. But then now this is his moment. This is his dream. He is all in on being the champ. And you could tell 5 times in a year, 5 times in a calendar year. That's freaking insane.
4.
Absolute 4, whatever. Absolutely insane. That's still a lot, by the way.
It's a record.
That's absolutely a lot.
Yeah, it's a literal record.
You're training 5. You think about this. You're adding 2 rounds to everything you do. 2 rounds of pads, 2 rounds of bag work, 2 rounds of running, 2 rounds of grappling, 2 rounds of sparring. You're adding 2 rounds to everything you do throughout the day. That's insane.
No, how often he's fighting, how well trained he always is, the shape he's always in. And after the fights, after a win, he'll tell you about the injuries he had and the problems. Not like in an excuse sort of way, just like I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I got here. I had this injury. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I got here. I had this other issue. And he just, no excuses, works, grinds, shows up and fights. So you got to appreciate Merab. It's a good main event that I'm glad people are debating it, because that means people are interested in it.
Oh, absolutely. I think anytime you look at Merab, I'm interested in watching him fight. I wasn't a Merab fan until he became champion. I was actually kind of disgusted by the fact that I'm like, you're not going to fight Aljo. You're going to sit there. What happens if he's champ for the next 10 years? Like, your pocketbook and your lifestyle changes dramatically for the rest of your life. Now he's the champ. And what I loved the most was I loved hearing Dana go, "Oh, Merab's, I'm warming up to him."
Yeah.
I'm like, bet you are. Homeboy's main eventing your stuff now, and he's fighting as active as he possibly can. That's making you money. He loves you now. And I love that about fighters that are willing to take those chances. And a great job by him. Let's go ahead and move on to Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Pantoja just never gets the respect he deserves. He deserves so much more respect. He's so talented, man. I'd love to have seen him in a DJ fight, but then I look at Joshua Van, he kind of just sprouted up out of nowhere, and he's had great performances, one performance after another, and he is short and stocky, hard to take down. He's got dynamite in his hands. Pantoja is a different breed, though. But you were saying, like you were talking about the Brandon Moreno fight and the Tyra fight, but what do you look at in the odds for this fight, and do you think it's going to end up going the way of the odds are talking about?
These odds are closer than the main event is, and I'm surprised by that, because I think Pantoja is going to run through Josh Van, and I think Josh Van is very good. I think Josh Van will get another title shot, meaning I don't think he's a flash in the pan. I think he's going to lose this fight. I think it's going to be very one-sided, and then he'll work his way back up and get here again. Josh Van's a great pocket fighter. The dude is busy. He can take some damage. Obviously, Charles Johnson knocked him out bad, but outside of that, he's taking damage. He's absorbing shots. He's done a great job defending takedowns. He fought Rai Tsura, defended a bunch of those takedowns. He fought Cody Durden, defended a couple of those takedowns, but he was also taken down. So yes, you defended a bunch of Cody Durden's takedowns, but you gave up 2. And Cody Durden is not Pantoja. Pantoja's like a little Merab. He doesn't have quite the same cardio, but he will move forward. He will get takedowns, but he has next level, unbelievable control. People are not standing up on Pantoja. And I think that's literally going to be the difference. I think Joshua Van is very good. I think Joshua Van is just a little bit over his head right now. I think it's not that soon, meaning he's had like 6 or 7 fights in the UFC. I just think if you look at who he's fought and who he's beat, he hasn't beat anybody outside of Royval. Royval got him the title shot. He hasn't beat anybody in the top 10. Nobody. Royval is what got him this title shot, and that's fine. They set an all-time record for most significant strikes landed, but he has not beaten anybody in the top 10 to earn this shot. So to go from just a busy decision versus Brandon Royval to a title shot against one of the best to ever do it is a giant leap.
Yeah, but what else are you going to do, though? Like the 125-pound division.
Oh, he earned the shot.
Yeah, it's probably the most stacked it's been, in a long, long time, if ever. But then this guy, when you have someone like this who, like you said, is a little bit of a flash in the pan, but he will be back. He will be around. but he sprouted up so fast. You've got to capitalize if you're the UFC. Otherwise, you're getting a bunch of rematches. And I'm cool with this.
And he's fun.
The fight that I actually want to see, though, is Van versus Horiguchi. That's the fight that I want to see. The two of them will stand and trade. They both will. Neither one's going to really probably try to shoot a takedown. There might be a wrestle here and there every once in a while, but I'd love to see that fight happen, whether it's for the title or whether it's, Horiguchi fighting the loser of this fight. But I'd love to see him fight either one, Pantoja or Van, but I love the Van fight a little bit more. But overall, this, I think, is going to be a fantastic fight. I'm looking forward to that fight a lot. You got Moreno versus Tyro. Like you said, the betting odds have Moreno. Put some respect on this guy's name. What are we talking about? You're saying that he's the underdog on this fight against Tatsuro Taira?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a slight dog. Nothing crazy. I think it's like plus 120, plus 110, something like that. So slight underdog, but he is a dog. It was dead even. The odds opened at minus 110, dead even on a sports book. And then money came in, pushed it the other way. And it is a bit surprising because obviously Moreno's a little older and he's sort of been through the ringer a little bit. But Tatsuro Taira's last couple of performances, I don't look at those and say this guy's a world champion. So he lost to Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval beat him. He fought somebody that has way more experience, a couple levels above him, close fight, but he loses that fight. Then he gets an insanely short notice, very overrated, has lost since then, Hyung-Sung Park, right? Then after that, and before both of those fights, he fought Alex Perez. On paper, he beat Alex Perez, but Alex Perez won the first round. On every judge's scorecard, he won the first round. Second round, he is on top of Alex while Alex is standing and his knee blew out. So I'm not trying to discredit the wins that Tatsuro Taira has, but let's go ahead and discredit the wins. He beat Carlos Hernandez, congratulations. Edgar Chairez, congratulations. Jesus Aguilara, congratulations. CJ Vergara, the Carlos Candelario, these people are no longer employed by the UFC. None of them. So it's like he got a title shot, or not a title shot, but he got this featured spot, which could end up being a title shot. This is the featured fight of the evening. After a couple of mid-level performances and a short notice guy, I think the experience and the durability and just the awkward, because, Moreno's got that like herky-jerky awkward style. I think that's all going to be too much.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out. I mean, look, Taira to me he's good. He's talented. He's got a really good record, 17-1, but you could honestly say it's a little bit padded. And Moreno is the opposite. His record's not padded at all.
Yeah.
He's had to fight the same guys multiple times because those guys are always at the top and they're still at the top. And so Moreno's a dog, but like I go back to, he's been champion. Very much what I was talking about, Petr Yan. He's been champion. He doesn't fight as often as he did before. What's going on? This is one of those like perfect storms where the younger fighter who's trying to still get to the title is hungry and thirsty, and you got a guy who was the multiple-time champion who knows that, like, I'm not getting another shot at Pantoja until he loses. So I'm just going to just beat these guys. And, like, is he still training with the same ambition that he was, when he was on his way to the title? I am going to go with Moreno. He's the better, more rounded fighter. He's good on the ground. He's fast. He's explosive. He got a granite of a chin. Like, the guy can take big shots. He'll stand and trade, but he's also been fighting a lot smarter these days. So I look at that fight. I look at him. I go, if you fight smart, you potentially can make it a boring fight, and that puts you in the worst graces of the UFC ever. But getting a win and moving on, and staying at the top. So whenever the opportunity comes, if Van beats Pantoja or Horiguchi beats Pantoja, that slides you right in there first. But then you're not as active as you possibly could be inside the cage, and fans start to forget about you. And then it's like, oh, what about that guy? Oh, what, is he still with the UFC? Is he even still fighting? That's the reputation you're going to get for former champions that are just not as active inside the cage.
Moreno's been, I'm looking at it now. He's had an interesting rise and fall, because like going to a draw with Davison to then beat him, and then they fought 4 times. It was the first quadrilogy in the UFC. And it was like, those were great back and forth fights. And then he smokes Kai Kara France. Then he finishes Davison Figueiredo again. Then he loses a close one. I was there in person when he lost to Pantoja. Super close fight. You could have argued he won that fight. Then he had his first performance where you're like, oh, is he washed? When he lost to Brandon Royval. That was in Mexico City. He just didn't look like himself. And that's when he was like, I got to take some time off. I got to work on me a little bit. I've been too busy. There's too many things going on. He came back. He looked great against Amir Albazi. I thought he looked good against Steve Urseg. You know, he's been around for a million years. When you look at Brandon Moreno, you don't say, wow, phenomenal striker, phenomenal grappler. You actually don't say anything. You're like, he's durable. He's unorthodox. He's exciting. He'll get after it. When you look at Tatsuro Taira, you will say very good grappler. Like Tatsuro Taira is probably better than Brandon in a couple very specific individual things, but as a complete mixed martial artist, I got to go with Brandon Moreno here.
Yeah, I definitely would go with Brandon Moreno as well. And I just haven't seen a big enough like quality sample size of Taira fighting top level competition of the Royvals and the Morenos and the Horiguchis and that level of fighter on a consistent basis to make me think like, oh, he's got a good chance.
Yeah.
I think if he gets pressured and pushed, and if Moreno really puts his foot on the gas, I think he really could start to break him a little bit and make him fight a very uncomfortable fight. Horrible shots, horrible takedowns, whatever it is, or even just throwing strikes and moving backwards. It could be all bad for Taira if he gets put in that situation. You know, the fight that really caught me off guard the most, though, when it was announced, was Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. That fight, I was like scratching my head, like, what the hell is going on? Why would you take this fight out of all things? Like, why? Like, and now we're hearing that it's his retirement fight.
He's saying that. Yeah, he's saying this is it no matter what.
Before. He has retired before and he's come back, but he's at an age now where I understand the retirement.
Yeah, and he's lost a couple in a row. Like, what's left?
Yeah, the motivation. Like he is sadly, I got to be honest. Sadly, he wasted 3 of his best years.
Yeah,
sitting on the side, hoping he was going to get a bigger contract at a better deal, and it really frustrated me because he's obviously has so much potential. He's Olympic gold medalist and fantastic. He picked up MMA so well, and the way he was able to work it together, he kind of created a really good style that he kind of bit off of the Conor McGregor style, but he had wrestling. So he chained it together very, very well. And then I think he actually bit that from like Patricio Pitbull, who they kind of all bit it from each other. But it was one of those moments where I'm like, damn, if he would have just stayed active, what kind of legacy would he have in this sport had he not stepped away for those 3 years?
I mean, I can't go back and remember who the top 5, 6 were, you know, outside of him, but he obviously beat Dominic Cruz to win that second belt. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember who were the highest ranked people in the division at that time, but I have to imagine he was going to continue to win and continue to do well.
He didn't win. No, he didn't beat Dominic Cruz to win the second belt. I think that I think it was injured or something.
He knocked him out with a flying knee.
No, but I thought he fought Morales for the vacant title or something like that.
Maybe. Because
TJ Dillashaw tested positive, and that made it a vacant title, I believe.
Let's see. I know he knocked him out with that knee. So,
but remember, he beat TJ, and then TJ tested positive. That makes it a vacant title.
Technically, so he won the belt for against Marlon Moraes. So he beat TJ Dill. I don't understand what's going on here. He beat DJ. He beat TJ Dillashaw. Then he won. This must be the second belt against Marlon Moraes. And then he defended it against Dominic Cruz when he knocked him out with that knee. And then he retired for 3 years.
Yeah, I think the Marlon Moraes one was a vacant title because I think TJ either had to vacate the title or he lost the title because of the suspension. Remember, he ended up with a really long suspension. So he kind of just like, I'll vacate the title. I'll try to win it when I come back. And so then he fought. Henry came up and fought for the vacant title against Marlon Moraes, won in a dog fight, basically, and had a great, because he lost, I think, the first 2 rounds, and he just had to bite down on the mouthpiece and cut after it in the next round and a half. And then he beat Dominic Cruz to defend it.
Yeah.
So
that's when Dominic Cruz started saying referee smelled like beer and cigarettes, and he stopped it too early and just started making every excuse in the world.
Peterson. Yep. Yeah. Peterson. Yeah, that was one of those moments. A moment I think that I think he since has cleared that up a little bit.
Saying that's not true. He didn't smell like beer and cigarettes.
I don't know. How do you see that fight going? Henry Cejudo and Peyton Talbot. What are your thoughts on it? Like, does Henry get this takedown? Does he control the top position? Henry's a great wrestler, but where he's always kind of felt like he's lacked the ground and pound and the dominant control from the top position. That's where I feel like he's lacked. Now on the speed, on the feet, he's fantastic. Can he take Peyton Talbot's shot though? And he's not as fast as he used to be when he was winning titles. And there's a lot of questions to be answered here from the Henry Cejudo side, but then also too with Peyton Talbot. He's a big body frame for the weight class.
Huge. He's tremendous for that weight class.
He's huge. And so how does Henry deal with the size? And if he gets clipped, how does he handle the power?
Henry's another guy we've seen sort of rocked a couple times here and there, but there's two very clear camps that you're in when you're talking about this fight. You are either in Henry Cejudo's an Olympic gold medalist, and he is just going to do to Peyton Talbot what Hani Barcelos did to Peyton Talbot. He's just going to come forward, take him down. Hani was even older than Henry Cejudo when he did it, so he's just going to do that. Or you're on the other side, and you're like, Henry Cejudo's washed. He's not who he was before. Peyton is huge. He's fast. He's got power. He's zesty, and all that zesty rainbow power is going to come in here and beat Henry Cejudo.
You said zesty, bro. You were wild. You were wild.
He's zesty. So I am going to lean toward Peyton Talbot here because I'm a big Henry Cejudo guy. I read his book after he won the Olympics, long before he was going to be in the UFC. I just feel like at this point in his career, Henry Cejudo doesn't wrestle that much. He just doesn't. He didn't do it that much against Song Yadong, who's a phenomenal striker. And he didn't go in there balls out wrestling. So I don't know why he would come in here balls out wrestling. The older you get, the less you wrestle. For some reason, Hani Barcelos bucked that trend. But I think Peyton Talbot's going to win this fight just by being huge and fast. But I'll be rooting for Henry to do exactly what Hani did, which is just come forward and get takedowns.
Yeah. I'm going to root for Henry because I'm an old dog, and Henry's now becoming an old dog. And I'm always going to lean more towards probably the wrestlers because I got a little bit of that wrestling gene in me as well. And I've got a lot of respect for Henry, man. He did things his way. And whether they were good or bad for him,
they were bad choices.
Yeah, I mean, like
his way was not the best way.
He did things his way, though, and I'll always respect people that didn't fall in line and decided to do things their way, whether it worked out or not. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. George St. Pierre is a perfect example of how he did things his way, and it worked out perfectly for him. You know?
So, yes, I think, again, a huge Henry fan, but Henry sat out. He retired in some act of contract negotiation, and then they just moved on. They just literally moved on. It didn't matter at all. Came back 3.5 years later. It's not like when Randy Couture was fighting to get everybody more money, or Tito Ortiz was fighting to get everybody more money. He ruined the 3 best years of his life to try to get a better contract. He did not get a better contract. At least I don't think he did. Came back 3.5 years later, hasn't won since. So I think it's awful how that went down.
Yeah.
His choice. Nobody screwed him. He chose to do all. He could have come back at any time. I think it just sucks. And maybe we're all wrong. Maybe it wasn't an act of contract negotiation. He never said, he said he actually retired. He opened the gym. He's a great coach. All of that stuff is going well for him, but it does suck that he gave up. I assume the 3 best years, or maybe 2 of those 3, or even one of the 3 were some of the best years of his career. It sucks that we didn't get to see it. I did think he beat Aljo on his return. I thought he won that fight. I didn't agree with that decision, but he obviously wasn't. He very clearly lost to Merab, so that is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out. I want him to go out on a win. If this is his last fight, I'd like to see him get a win.
Absolutely.
Jan Blachowicz versus Guskov. I mean, Jan's what, 45 now?
He's 42 and he's the favorite.
Yeah, Polish power. You got the Polish power, and Guskov just he walks right in the punches. Chin up in the air, and he's very hittable. It's just a matter of whether Jan can find his chin. That's where that fight's gonna end up. And your boy, the one that you love the most in the sport, Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. You love Grant Dawson. He's your all-time favorite fighter.
I'd rather get the underneath of my butt waxed during that fight than watch that actual fight. Grant Dawson is arguably the most boring guy on the roster. He's a very good fighter. He is a very good fighter. That is why he just keeps winning. He's a very good fighter. He's a very skilled fighter. He's going to win this fight. But my God, is that guy boring? Holy crap.
Is the underneath of your butt, is that your taint? Is that what that is?
Just find the most sensitive part of my body, throw wax and paper on it. I'd rather do that than watch 15 minutes of a blanket try on top of Manuel Torres.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez. And then Terrence McKinney and Chris Duncan. I think that's going to be a great fight.
That should be the featured prelim. The whole point of a featured prelim, especially now, this is the last pay-per-view. The whole point of a featured prelim is to have a banger of a fight so people will sit around and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll spend $80 to watch some more of this. And you're going to put Grant Dawson in that spot? That's where you're put arguably the most important fight on a pay-per-view card is the featured fight, because that's the one that gets people to just jump the line and spend the money. Anybody that was on the fence, if you do Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan in that spot, bang, you're going to convince an extra 20,000 people to be like, yes, I'm going to spend them. This is crazy. I'm going to spend money. Wow, that fight was awesome. You're going to put Grant Dawson in that spot?
Yeah. You know what's
like,
wild?
I'm good.
You know what's wild to me is that you have Grant Dawson in that spot. And I'm not going to take the approach that you are of just totally hating on him.
He's a phenomenal fighter. I'm separating entertainment versus skills. He's a very good fighter.
Yeah, because you're a cash. I get it. But there are two fights that I really honestly believe that could be right. They could slide right into that spot. Let's talk about Edson Barboza and Jalen Turner. How is that not right there as the featured prelim? That's going to be a fantastic fight. Or Bruno Fajeda versus Marvin Vettori.
Marvin Vettori's still a top 10 middleweight in the world. And yeah, he's like the third fight of the night or something.
Yeah, and Bruno's going to come out swinging. He's going to try to get this fight like to knock his freaking head off. It does baffle me that they put Grant Dawson in that position.
I don't get it.
There's no hate, but it just simply put like you said, you're trying to sell the pay-per-view. How do you sell a pay-per-view with a guy who gets control, gets the takedown, gets control, and hangs out there?
I genuinely am baffled by it. Like, I do always rant. Every time Grant Dawson fights, I go on a rant similar to that one.
Oh my gosh.
But like throwing him on a featured prelim spot is crazy to me. That is genuinely the most important slot on a pay-per-view card. That is where there's a giant population of people who have already decided that they're buying this event. Then there's a whole lot of people that have not decided yet. All four Dawson. Yeah, it's his mother, his father, his wife, and maybe one of his neighbors. Not all of them. They all secretly think he's bullshit.
That's messed up. I just
his mother gets up like this when he fights. She's like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to miss absolutely nothing. Let me go to the bathroom.
Bro, you're ruthless, man. You're ruthless. That's horrible. Look, that's going to wrap up our 323 talk, but let's talk about all the other great things that are going on, all the drama that surrounds 324 and 325.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait, what?
There's new drama. The Tom Aspinall had medical records drama. Did you plan on touching on that or no?
Oh yeah, let's go right ahead. You want to talk about that? Because let's go ahead. I love this. This is the best part. I want you to bend the knee. I want you to apologize to my boy Tom Aspinall. I want you to do what you swore up and down, like, oh well,
I didn't swear about shit.
We all saw way out. He quit.
My exact words were, I think that fight was tougher than he thought it was going to be. He had a way out and he took the way out. Should he have continued to fight? No, I don't think he should have continued to fight. If you're not 100%, why would you continue in the most important fight of your life? So I do not think he should have continued. Could he have? I do think he could have. Now, if you don't know, so we're talking about UFC 321. Tom Aspinall's a little bloody, got dotted up a little bit more than people thought he was going to. He got very clearly poked in the eye, 2 eyes. And then he just, whatever, I'm out, I'm done. Then his father filmed anybody who would look at Tom's eye. His father had a camera, like, what do you think? And every single person in those vlogs was like, there's nothing wrong with this guy's eye. All of them. Anyway, here we are 5 weeks later. Now we have new medical records. And the new medical records say he's got all sorts of issues. He's got a cracked orbital. When he looks up, it gets blurry. All sorts of major issues. I am not a medical professional. I am not going to go as far as this comment and say that's a fake medical report. There's no way. There's no way he's faking that. There's no way. I believe the medical report. Now, do you think he maybe went fishing around to find a doctor that would write that? Sure. Very possible. But I'm just going to take it at its word. A medical professional wrote that document. I'm going to take it at its word. My take for all of this now is, okay, so we have a Tom Aspinall who is 5 weeks removed from the eye poke, still can't see. He's not been cleared to train. This guy still cannot see. Also, and now he's doing social media videos, like trying to be like, oh, Tsarukyan's a cheater. Dana White's you can't see, you can't train. This division needs to move on. It needs to move on.
Wow.
If we're doing an interim title fight because Ilya's getting a divorce and said he won't fight till Q2, why are we not doing the same thing for heavyweight? And obviously it just happened, but he's not even cleared to train, and he's still blurry. He looks up, it's blurry. We need an interim title fight.
Did you see that the UFC had Tsarukyan and Alex Pereira facing off against each other?
When? Where?
It was at a UFC Fight Pass event or something like that. They were somewhere together. I want to say looked like it was in the UK somewhere, and they were doing a face-off. I would not be surprised if that ended up being for an interim title.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
And I was rooting. So Tom, I do not think Tom is an actual quitter. I don't think Tom's a coward. I don't think any of that stuff. I do think that fight was a lot tougher than he thought it was going to be. There was an opportunity to be done with it, and he was done with it. And it was the correct choice to make. I also think Tom Aspinall and his father might be the two worst PR people on planet Earth. He couldn't have handled that worse. Yeah. Tell your dad to shut the hell up at this point. Shut up. Like, stop. You're fighting with random people. That's making me look stupid. I went from like universally loved to now 50-50. There's people that are die hard. Tom's the best in the world. And now there's a whole bunch of people that are like, yeah, John was always going to beat him. Like, his stock took a major hit. And he was the one who got illegally poked in the eye, all because of how he handled it, how his father handled it. The whole thing is an absolute hot mess of a disaster. This social media video he did you watch the video or you just saw the Instagram post?
I just saw the Instagram.
Dude, he did this whole video like, oh, I'm a bully. I'm mean now. It's like, dude, what the hell? Just be you. Like, most of your chat doesn't like me, but at least I'm me. I'm just me. I am me. More people would dislike me if I was fake. And that's what's happening now. Like, just figure out who you are, be that person. If he just said, yeah, dude, that guy's way better than I thought he was going to be. The eye poke sucked. I'm not fighting this guy at 70%. Mm-hmm. No way was I going to continue. That sucked. We'll do the rematch. Instead, it was like, took it way too far.
Yeah, I mean, you went all in on him, after that, the night after that fight. We did a couple of shows together talking about it. And you went all in on it. You went hard in the paint. And so
I think he had a way out and he took it.
I was waiting for you to bend the knee, but you went the complete opposite way. You doubled down. So
I'm not. So again, this guy said I'm victim blaming. Where did I say he should have continued?
Okay.
I'm not blaming him for getting poked in the eye. I'm not saying he should have continued. I'm not saying any of those things. People need to listen to the actual words. I think there was a way out and he took the way out. And I think he should have taken the way out given the way things were going and the circumstances.
But just as a fan, you paid for the pay-per-view. You want to see the main event happen. Yeah, the fight didn't happen. And a lot of people were upset over the situation. No, and this goes on. And we've had this conversation on to my face is blue, basically. And it just comes down to, we always blame the guy who didn't make we blame the guy who made the weight and we don't blame the guy who didn't make the weight. Same thing with this situation. We never blame the guy who did the eye poking. We always blame the guy who decided not to fight, who got poked in the eye.
Sure.
Like, wait a second. This guy, he got poked in the eye. He can't see, or it's blurry, and you want him to continue fighting. It's a tough fight already as it is when we're both 100% healthy, let alone when someone has a little bit of an injury or, broken thumb or a scratched lens, whatever it is. This is where I'm going with this, is that I think Tom's probably going to end up having an interim title put on if he can't fight here soon.
He's not cleared to train. And he's not fighting anytime soon.
And I saw the face-off between Tsarukyan and Alex Pereira. And also, the reason why I'm going to double down on this is that I also saw an interview with John Jones, or at least a quote that someone took from an interview with John Jones, saying, if it's not the White House, then I'll move on. So if it's
Who said that?
John Jones. He said, if it's not the White House, I'll move on. He basically saying he'll fight somebody else, and whether another event, whatever it is, it's not going to be Tom if Tom's not ready to train. So I think what they're going to do is, I really believe that it would be Alex versus Gane. It would only make.
I would love. That's probably the only situation that could be concocted to get Alex a heavyweight title. He could potentially be Gane. Gane hasn't looked chinny. I don't know why he would look chinny now, and he's got great movement. But you know, Alex Pereira becoming a 3-division world champion, the first and probably only to ever do it, would be, I would love that.
Yeah, because then you look, there's also recent video footage of Alex Pereira sparring heavyweights.
Who's that 6'9" dude? I don't know who that was.
UFC. He was in the UFC and then he left, and now he was with the kickboxing. What's the kickboxing?
Oh, that's Welterweight II. He was doing that
yes, yep. And then he went to the what's that?
Oh, well, that dude, that's taekwondo.
Karate combat,
kickboxing. I thought.
Oh, but he was boxing with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so that's going to be like a Cyril Gane type matchup.
Yeah.
Which kind of then John saying what he said, and Tom Aspinall not willing to fight. Alex steps in to save the day because that's what he does. And he becomes an even bigger star. That's what's made him such a star. And he's fun to watch. People would love. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. I got to be honest. I have no desire to see John Jones and Alex Pereira. I do. Zero.
I do, just because I want to see John Jones fight. I don't want him to be retired. I want to see him fight. I don't want to see him fight Alex because he beats Alex. And I want Alex to be a 3-division world champion. Yeah. That's what I want. Like and Cyril Gane, I was gonna say, I don't think he was gonna be able to beat Tom, but maybe the only takedown attempt Tom did to Cyril was not very good. So maybe he could beat Tom, but Cyril is like, maybe like elite striker versus elite striker, and just brute force raw power versus great footwork. I hope that fight happens. And I want Tom to be, if I had the choice between Cyril and Alex for the title or Tom and Gane rematch, I would pick Tom and Gane. I don't prefer interim. I don't prefer interim.
Oh no.
Or get Gane out of there and give him Alex.
No. I'm taking just from a total fan perspective, and also too, the guy, there's too much legacy at stake. You've got Alex can win the 3rd title in what, like 12 fights, 15 fights in his career in MMA. This guy's got 3 belts. Get out of here. I want to be part of history. That part of watching these fights is we get to see something that no one has ever seen. That's what's driving me these days to do this podcast. I love being able to talk about things.
That's what's driving you?
That's one of the things that like no one's ever going to see, I want to be the first to see it. I want to see Alex win a heavyweight title. John can only win 2. He's going to go 205 and heavyweight. That's it. And he handpicked his opponents. He picked the kickboxer, and he picked a 45-year-old Stipe Miocic. Okay. Yeah. And so, look, no matter what you think of John was definitely, he's obviously a fantastic fighter. But let's be honest, in that little era of his run from light heavyweight to he was handpicking his heavyweight opponents.
Well, he only had 2 of them. Yeah.
Alex,
one couldn't defend takedowns, and the other was
Alex
100.
Fight's Gane. That could be a great fight, end up being a stand-up battle back and forth. Love that idea. And then on top of that, he'll end up having to fight Tom Aspinall next. Where does that put John Jones?
The only thing the problem with that, I get where you're coming from. The only problem with that logic is it would have to be for a real belt and not the interim belt, which means you would have to strip Tom, and that's a fucked up thing to do, because didn't quit, whatever you want to debate, he didn't poke himself in the eye. So to strip the belt from him, like this is what an interim belt is literally for. He's not refusing to fight. He has medical documentation, whether you believe it or not, saying he can't. So you can't strip the belt. And then if it's Alex versus Gane for an interim title, is he truly a 3-division champion, or interim title doesn't quite carry the same weight? So I think you just, obviously, if Tom is out, then yeah, let's do it. That's what we got to do. But if there is an option for Tom to fight Gane, I'd rather them do that, get that over with, and then go ahead and get Alex in there.
How wild would it be that they just put John Jones on ice? They're like, oh yeah, you're back. Cool. Okay, we'll use you when we can. Alex is a bigger star, does better numbers than you, which is, I think, proven. And it will definitely be even bigger once they hit CBS and Paramount, whatever it is. It's going to be huge. Alex is the it guy right now. It's Alex, Islam, and Ilia Topuria. Those are the 3 guys.
You just can't not say Islam.
Just tell me, am I wrong? Is it not those 3 guys?
The 3 biggest pay-per-view draws right now?
3 biggest pay-per-view draws are those 3 guys.
Definitely Alex.
Marab's up there. I think.
I don't know if he moves the needle. Excitement wise, like I'm very interested. I don't know if he actually moves the needle. Hamzat does move the needle because there's so many question marks
Oh,
around
yeah,
him.
sorry, I left Tom's on out. Yep, my bad.
I guess it kind of has to be Islam, but if they do, like, here's the problem. It's Islam because of what he was looking to do and his opponents. If you get Islam versus Michael Morales, you think that really sells 1 million
Yeah.
pay-per-view buys? And the pay-per-views don't exist anymore, but you get the point I'm making. That's the tricky part, where I think Alex could fight a 10th grader and he will still sell 1 million pay-per-views.
Yeah, Dave and Chaudhry, thanks, man. Sent 5 win-in gift memberships. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for doing that. That's awesome, man. I love it. I love to see that. I love sharing the positivity in the chat, man. I love when you guys are doing that for us. So thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, the chat's super positive. Charlie says Angelo is ready to receive in the thumbnail. What a positive chat. What a real upbeat, salt of the earth chat we got going on here.
Keeping it positive. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's wrap up. Let's wrap that up right there. Though.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's go ahead and wrap that up. But let's go ahead and talk about UFC 324. Obviously, Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, not the main event we were looking to get. I think coming into 2026 and the deal with all this, like, I don't know. It kind of is one of those things like, man, we kind of lost the aura of what we thought we were going to get. We thought we were going to get like a Gone versus Alex or maybe a Chimaev versus, I don't know, Alex as well. I don't know. I keep saying Alex's name, but we thought we were going to get something like that. You're such a hater.
Listen,
what a hater.
I listen, I think universally, I don't think anybody heard the Gaethje Pimblett matchup. First of all, you have the most important comment we've ever gotten from Dave and Chaudhry. If you want to go ahead and pin that.
Go ahead and where's that? Read it.
Team Angelo, 4 exclamation points. Pretty locked in right there. Oh, and then we have a hashtag team in. Apparently, hashtag Team Angelo is trending as well. So we can go ahead and get that on the screen. That would be very, very helpful for your boy. I don't think anybody.
There it is.
Some dude in the chat. I'll take it.
One of a kind. Oh, look at King Poopy. Josh over Jacob. Oh, interesting. I love to hear that. I love to hear, but this is my channel, so I hope
is he talking about it? Yeah. I would hope you would get the love on your own. Actually, so real quick before I do the Paddy Gaethje thing, you have a comment from Triangle Square. How to become fat like Angelo. Joshua, would you like me to read all the food that I ate at the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving?
I would actually love you to do that, because you and I had this conversation the other day, and I said, hey, I've noticed that one of your dimples has disappeared. Like,
I'm gaining weight at a remarkable pace.
It's insane. When I said you were 275 last week, you're pushing probably close to 290 right now.
No, 275 is a wild exaggeration, but the problem is I'm creeping closer to that than what I actually am.
You're pushing 285, 290. You're getting there, buddy. You're 6'3", 6'4".
I'm not fucking I'll say 290. 290 is crazy.
You know,
I'm 265. If Tiff brought in a scale right now, 265.
Guys, what's hilarious is he's like,
and I'm not short.
You're not short. You're 6'3".
They're convinced I'm short because of the camera angle. I'm not short.
No. Well, maybe if you didn't like try to get you get so close. I was like, bro, we're gonna have to scoot you back if your face.
I mean, it's just where the monitor is. I don't know.
No. What's crazy is that you can fit all that food. Go ahead and tell me what you had at the Dallas Cowboys Chiefs game.
So we went to the this is our new tradition, if you will. We went to the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. So we walk in. I'll tell you the food, the calories, and how much it cost. I got a Thanksgiving bowl. Delicious. It was absolutely. It had green beans. It had
the only healthy thing on there.
Well, that's why I started with it. The turkey was like, this wasn't like whipped together. Like, this was very good food. $52, 1,200 calories. Then I said, that was heavy. Let's just sit down, watch the game, go traditional concessions. Got a big boy pretzel, $15, 750 calories. Got some popcorn, $17, 650 calories. Then last year when we went to the game, they were advertising Thanksgiving egg rolls. And I was like, I got to get an egg roll. So I was walking around this whole freaking stadium. They were sold out everywhere. This year, I was like, I'm getting an egg roll quick. I went downstairs. I made sure I knew where to go. I got the Thanksgiving egg rolls. You get 2 egg rolls, $23, 800 calories. Then I'm stuffed to the gills. I am uncomfortable. I am sweaty. Things are not going well inside my body. We go downstairs. there's a huge stand for like these chicken Caesar salad sandwiches. So I got one of those, 1,200 calories, $33. I spent like $400 and consumed about 9,000 calories at that game. No alcohol. No, I couldn't even, there was no point.
The next day I saw you on camera, you were like
bloated,
sweating grease. It was like, I could tell like your face was glistening of just grease coming out. The fucking gravy was coming out of your ears,
dude,
and your pores. It was
if you funny. Look, I filmed like a selfie style, like Instagram video or whatever, that game, fat as hell.
Oh,
then the next day I do the same thing with the 324 announcements. All of a sudden, very different looking face. So I ate a bunch of shit.
Oh, that's funny. All right, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these super chats here. We got Shred. What is that? Shred Be Dead. He says right here. I think he meant to say Angelo. You don't backtrack. I even mentioned that your boy Islam was about to go up, and you still said no. Now that's
talking to you,
champ.
Islam's not my boy.
How do you say Anyez? And yes, don't backtrack. Okay, anyways, says now that Islam is a champ, I hear you say 170 is king. Not sure. Shred Be Dead. I'm not sure exactly where you're going with that comment. But hey, thanks for the super chat though, and the $5. I really appreciate you. And you also threw another one in there. Shred Be Dead for another $5. I appreciate that as well. Big fan, Josh. I'm supposed to read that one first, I think. Glad you can admit now I was right about 170. 2 months ago, I asked about it shaping up to be most stacked division, and you told me no. I think the guys that were undefeated and the guys that were starting to make their run, they made their runs. I didn't think that Michael Morales was going to end up being as dominant as he was against Sean Brady. That would have, I think, kind of, I wouldn't say kept the welterweight division where it is, but it kind of like, okay, look, the young rising star, that undefeated fighter that people are looking for. If he didn't get past Sean Brady the way that he did, we'd be like, oh, okay, he's just another average fighter. I'm sorry, but he exploded on the scene with that win. That win catapulted that division. Not just him, but then you got Shavkat still sitting there at 19-0 or something. And then you've got Ian Garry, who's got 1 loss. And I'm not a big fan of Ian Garry's fighting style, but I love what he's doing in terms of social media. And, you know, he's chomping at the bit. He's constantly just chirping at guys. And he's even getting in guys like Chimaev's face. Like, hey, man, I remember when you used to talk shit about me. Now you're sitting here in my face, and now I'm going to give you a shove. Now you're going to go cry about it in front of all the media. He knows what he's doing. He works the media better than the media works fighters. So he's doing a good job in that department. But the division is absolutely stacked. And I never, ever once said that Islam wasn't going to go up, ever in my life. I always knew he was going to go up. We've been talking about this from 10 years ago. He said, brother, I become champion at 155. Then I go to 170. I get another title. That's what he said. It's like he even talked about back then about 185, but now the reality is set in that 185 is just out of reach. He realizes that he can't even keep the weight on and being able to train at that type of pace. But I want to thank you guys so much. The other one too is, I don't know how you say this. It is C Pete MMA 248. Hey Josh, any reason the UFC hasn't been back to Sacramento in your opinion? We've had many events over the years, including when GSP won the belt, Hughes, and then Mighty Mouse knocked out Joe Benavidez. Let me just, I guess, put it this way, is that the market's just not there. You know, Alpha Male's gone. Like, they're not gone, but they're not what they were when Uriah was, you know, winning his titles, when TJ was making his run, and Benavidez was, you know, the #1 contender for his whole career. Like, they're just not Danny Castillo and all the other guys that were out of there. They don't have that anymore. They've got some good fighters that are there that are making some runs, but they don't have that same notoriety. They don't have the original guys that started the gym or built the gym up. It's not there anymore. And so it's kind of, they've gotten away from it. San Jose and the Bay Area is not either what it used to be. Okay. You had Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, myself, you know, you had Kung Lee, Frank Shamrock, all of us from that Paul Bonatel, all from that AKA era and that kind of the AKA gym in the beginning. Those are all gone. There's no AKA fighters. And this is not a dig at my own gym. It's just, there's no AKA fighters at AKA right now. They're all in Dagestan. They're all in Dubai. They're all training wherever Javier and Team Khabib goes, and Javier's team and coach, like that. They're all traveling with the team. there's no one really in San Jose anymore that is like is looked at as like a top prospect to get into the UFC or be someone to make a splash in the UFC. So no, that's why they're not going there. Not to mention it costs a lot of money to go to these arenas in the Bay Area and Sacramento and San Jose.
Why? Like the rent?
Yeah, just no, you have to pay a due or fee to use the facility, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's no different than like Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, yeah.
MSG though, people come. Like
Philly, you're saying the return is not as guaranteed.
Because if the card's not great and they don't know a guy, and then it's not like the best card ever, those people in the Bay Area, they're like, I got some tech shit to go do. I'll go have cocktails and watch it somewhere else. Like they're not to be bothered with their schedule. Bay Area people are that way.
What surprises me is the infrequency they come to Dallas. What the hell are you doing? That's a major city. The last time they came here was Nunes versus Pena 2.
Does it really surprise you?
Yeah, why are they not coming to Dallas?
Because this is not an MMA market. This market
says who?
The numbers say. And anytime that they have done any shows in Texas, period, outside of Houston, San Antonio doesn't do big numbers. Tickets are cheaper there.
I was at Noche. That thing was rocking.
Noche. And how much were tickets? How good was the deal?
I don't know. We spent like $1,000 a ticket.
Okay. And what'd you get with it? VIP passes and all the other stuff?
Yeah. Actually, no, it was, how much was it a ticket? $12.50? Something like that. They were good. Listen, that's also that wasn't a number. How big
was the arena?
How
big is it? 10,000, 12,000?
No, like 13 or 14. Where the Spurs played.
Okay. And so that's not a big arena. San Jose has a 20,000 seat arena.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, the what's it called?
Who plays there that it's so big?
The San Jose Sharks.
People give that much of a shit about hockey?
Oh, they fucking love hockey in San Jose.
Really?
Yes, the only arena in San Jose. I mean, it's like the other arena would be out there in Oakland. No one's going to fucking Oakland.
But so AAC is like 13,000 people in Dallas. Do that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the ROI on it. People don't go to the MMA events here. They'd rather go to a high school football game than go.
Well, that is true. I drove. You did too. We both drove an hour this weekend to go watch high school.
Football. Yeah. It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. So, all right, look, we're getting off task here, but let's go ahead and talk. Let's talk about 324. Is this the main event? This is the main event. It doesn't matter what we think. This is the main event they're going to be opening the show with. For CBS/Paramount. You also did a little bit of extra research. You said this will not be on CBS.
It's not on CBS.
Paramount Plus show.
I must have misunderstood. I thought I can't do that without doing the Chael Sonnen voice. I thought that all numbered events would be for free on CBS. And that's just not true. And that's how it was announced, or at least how it was interpreted by MMA media. Mm-hmm. There are no more pay-per-views, but all numbered events are not on CBS. Some numbered events will be on CBS. So UFC 324 is free. It's not true free like CBS is. You just need a Paramount Plus subscription and it'll be included in that. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say disappointing because I have Paramount Plus, so it doesn't matter. But I was almost positive that every single numbered event was going to be for free on CBS. What I imagine is happening is they're waiting till we're done with NFL, done with college football, and end of January, February. Obviously, March there's a little bit of activity with basketball. April, May, there's absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So I assume that's when the pay-per-view events will be on Saturday nights on CBS.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. What they're going to do is they're going to wait till the playoffs. They're going to wait till the Super Bowl is done, and then they'll go ahead and hit the ground running. I think they'll probably have 2 CBS cards, probably back to back, like, one and then the early of the month, and then probably another one towards the end of the month, like they did in October for their pay-per-views. They had two pay-per-views in October, one in the beginning, one at the end, I believe.
They're doing 324 and 325 back to back. The first 2 events of 2026 are numbered events.
Yeah, they're numbered events, but they're not on CBS. That's what I was saying. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to see how it all shakes out after the first 2 events, and they're going to try to hit the first CBS and the first 2 CBS or 3 CBS events, like with the big name values, whether it's John Jones, Chimaev, Islam, okay, or Ilya. That's what's going to happen. Ilya coming out saying he's not going to fight in the first quarter, going through some personal issues, which I think everyone kind of understands what's going on. And we'll see what happens. He's going to end up fighting the winner of one of these. But where does that put? He's going to fight the winner of Pimblett and Gaethje. But where does that put Arman Tsarukyan? Why does Dana White hate Arman Tsarukyan so much? That was my headline on this. Why does Dana hate Arman so much? He just had a dominant performance, finished the fight, was chasing the submission or the knockout the whole time, did a great job getting the work done, made it look easy. He made it look easy against Dan Hooker, who's always dangerous. Sure, he's not the best wrestler in the world, but man, he's a joy to watch. I love Dan Hooker. I'll always tune in to watch him fight. That fight was supposed to be for the number one contender spot. This fight now all of a sudden is for the number one contender spot. It's for the interim title. That guarantees you the number one contender spot. Where does that put Arman, and how do you see this fight going between Pimblett and Gaethje?
You said, why does Dana White hate Arman? And it's because Arman screwed what could have been the biggest event of 2025. He screwed it. He, by himself, he screwed it. It was entirely his fault. Nobody else's fault. Nobody to blame. He was supposed to fight Islam in January. He pretended he had a back injury the night before. How suspicious. He pretended he had a back injury the night before, and then Islam ends up fighting Renato Moicano. It screwed up the whole card because it was supposed to be Renato versus Beneil, and like you move the whole card around, it screwed up the entire thing. I imagine they lost real money. Like I imagine the difference in pay-per-view buys from Islam versus Arman to Islam versus Renato Moicano. I mean, they might have lost $50 million. Literally, that could literally be the number, the difference between if Arman showed up and didn't show up. So he is still paying his dues. He's still paying off that debt. The UFC basically wouldn't book him a fight. They told him he's not getting a title shot anytime soon. They made him weigh in as a backup when Ilya fought Charles Oliveira. He made weight, so he proved that he could actually make championship weight. They gave him the Dan Hooker fight. Fine. They did say it was a number one contender matchup, and then that's just not how that all played out. We don't know everything that happened behind the scenes. Obviously, Ilya is going through a divorce. I assume it's not going well. if he is not fighting, he basically said, I will not be fighting in the first quarter. So that's January, February, March. He's not injured. So this is literally just him. Maybe it's a money thing, right? Like, hey, I can't make $5 million right before getting divorced. Are you out of your mind? I need to get this paperwork finalized and then I'll make my money. Maybe it's that. But obviously when he told the UFC, I can't fight for a little, I can't make money or whatever it is, I'm not in the right headspace. The UFC was like, well, the division moves on. We need to do an interim belt. What I assume that we don't know about is there must have been other conversations for different belts. Because honestly, waiting till Q2, let's say April, I don't think you need an interim title if he's fighting in April. That's less than 1 year from when he won the belt. An interim title to me is like about a year or an undisclosed or undetermined amount of time. So for 8 months to be between fights and they're doing an interim title tells me that either A, Ilya is going to be out a lot longer, or B, they literally did not have another belt to headline that event. So they were just like, all right, interim, and we'll do Patty because people like Patty, and Justin because we hate Arman.
I think there's so look, there is talk that he's going through a divorce, but I think more of the
he's definitely going through a divorce.
Yeah, more of the issue is that he's trying to figure out ways to deal with the kid negotiate. Like he's got kids, I believe. He's got 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah, maybe 2. He's definitely got that son that has like great hands at his age already.
But then you're looking at, from what I understand, is like he needs to figure that all out. Like once the divorce is final, how do I have him looked after while I train? How does, like all the things that go along with being a single parent? That's got to have to be resolved. He's going to have to figure that out. Also, too, I think maybe this might be something where they go, hey, let's see where the dust settles with Patty and Justin. And in this time frame, does Ilya put the weight on to go up to 170 and fight Islam? That is something in the back of my mind. Is this a way of saying, he's going through this right now? Just take this time to go through your divorce, to put the size on properly. That's the only reason why I could really think like why you would put a interim title up. Even if you're back by June, by International Fight Week, July, who cares? You've got
Yeah.
this fight happening, and then you could even have Arman fight the winner of this fight.
There's definitely something like that. That's why I didn't even think of that piece of it. I was alluding more towards, they looked at all of the, Alex either isn't ready or they're saving him for something else. They already got the 45 belt on the line. 35 is happening this weekend. 25 is happening this weekend. Like, I think they looked at the belt. Welterweight just happened. Hamzat just hurt his foot. So Hamzat's out. And given the way that he just beat DDP, who the hell would you even do an interim title fight over there? So I think they looked at it and they're like, this is the only Patty for a belt is like the only thing we can do right now to headline an event with a meaningful title that'll get people talking. And I think most people will logically agree, like, all right, Patty in that title fight is not crazy. It's not ridiculous. He has a lack of top 5 wins, but he will be Taporia's dietitian to make 170. Just get a Thanksgiving bowl, a couple of egg rolls. I think Patty's on a 7-fight win streak in the UFC. He's never lost in the UFC. He's got 7 wins. They've gotten more dominant over time. So I think Patty in that slot's not a big deal. It's the Justin Gaethje side that people are pissed about because that should be Arman. I think it's literally 2 things. What the hell? And this dude Charlie doesn't shut up about me.
Oh, he loves you, man. He loves you. He's just giving you, busting your balls. That's when they really actually do like you.
Believe me, I was raised by immigrants in the Northeast. I have very thick skin.
And then this is what I have. Josh is a legit 9.3. I know. That's the chin, the smile. The eyes get a little smaller when I smile too. I like it's whatever. Don't be jealous. Don't be salty.
Yeah, no, I'll be just fine.
I'm doing just fine in life. Look, there's so many things to wrap my head around when it comes to this because this could be a moment for Ilya to really put on some size, take this time to put the weight on, and we could maybe see something along International Fight Week or maybe even like around Noche or something like that, September. They do a big time fight. You do Islam versus Ilya Topuria for that 3rd title. And I love the idea of Alex Pereira versus Gane. They're trying to get to that 3rd title. Somebody to win a 3rd title. They can talk about how great they are.
Is this just a theory or you genuinely think this?
No, this is a theory. This is a theory. Yeah, I mean, like, why not take this?
And I wasn't judging. I was just curious if you were like, no, I think this is what's happening, or if you're like, it could be this.
No, this is a theory. Just only based on the fact, like, this would be a good opportunity for him to take this time if he's not going to be, because he's going to be focused on his divorce, to just fucking pound some weights, man. Put up some weight, put the weight on, dip down on some calories, get after it, and let's just see what happens. Let's have you fight at 170. And let the Arman and the Gaethje and the Patty and the guys there at the top settle it and figure out what they're going to do, and I'll fight the winner of any of them. Come back and do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. That would make more sense to me than, stepping away because your family life's falling apart is logical. Like that makes sense. It would make more sense if he's moving up. Like, my life's a mess and I'm going to move up. I would love if that's happening. I think the UFC, to throw Justin in here, it was 2 reasons. 1, they're still pissed at Arman, or 3 reasons. 1, they're still pissed at Arman. 2, they think Arman beats Patty, as he would. And 3, Justin Gaethje is a company guy. He's done a lot of good stuff for the UFC. He's stepped up. He's exciting in every fight he's ever been in. He's being a little bit of a diva right now, demanding a title shot, but he's kind of earned it. He put his brain on the line more than anybody in the active roster right now. So yeah, let him get paid. Let him fight for a title. What else does this guy need to do for you? So I think it's a combination of those 3 things. And as much as it sucks for Arman, he literally did this to himself. When he did not fight Islam, he created this mess. And you don't just get over it. Like, you cost the company a shit ton of money and you destroyed an entire event. And you're not John Jones, right? When John Jones creates that mess, he was at least a world champion when
they move events for John Jones. They move it from Vegas to LA.
Yeah, they move events. World champion. You kind of have to. Arman's not. You're trying to get a title shot. You blew it when we gave it to you. And I'm just going to. So I think it's a combination of those 3 things. They want Patty to win. They want Patty to be a world champion. Justin Gaethje's a good company dude. He's demanding a title fight. So yeah, fine. Here Here we go. This is what we did.
Let me say this, and this is my take on the Arman not making the weight or just calling about his back being out or whatever in the middle of the night. Had he just stepped on the scale, not made weight, they would have still put the fight on. And if he would have made it a good fight, if he would have made it close, he would already be fighting for the title now that Islam left. There is no doubt in my mind. If he would have just showed up, made the weight, or not made the weight, but showed up and been like, I'm off by 2 pounds, I'm off by 4 pounds, and went out there and put on a great fight. Who's to say that he didn't beat him that night? If he would have beat him and been like, yeah, that automatically warrants you another title shot. Like everyone's be like, oh, you're not the real champion, Islam. Now you've got to fight him. You got to still go out there and fight. Now, I'm not saying Islam would have taken the fight. He didn't make the weight. I don't know what he would have done. I can't tell you. But you should have taken the fight, because even after, if he would have beat Arman and it was close, he would have left anyways. And then that Arman would have been opened up right away, been like, hey, you and Ilya, or or whoever else, right? It would have been, the UFC wouldn't be in the position right now to like hold it over his head as much as they did. Especially if he came out and put on a great show, or he came out and got aggressive, like, and just had and got some takedowns. Look what he did to Islam. I can sell that.
Yeah.
People will forget you didn't make the weight. People do it all the time. They blame the guy who didn't take the fight. They're going to forget.
I also don't hate like this little plot line brewing in the background. I don't hate it. Let Arman just beat the shit out of Dan Hooker. That fight wasn't close. He beat the absolute piss out of him. Looked great doing it. Now all of a sudden this is happening, and Arman went from, it's Arman, not Arman, and you have me saying Arman now, like Stefan from Urkel's alter ego. Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
You didn't watch Steve Urkel growing up?
No.
You didn't watch Family Matters?
I did every once in a while.
Your TV was black and white's the problem. That show was a little too new for you. Anyway, I don't hate this plot line, because let's say Arman, who just beat the hell out of Dan Hooker, Arman just got passed up for this title shot. Now there are people advocating for Arman. There's an entire fan base out there saying this is nonsense. This should be Arman. Where 6 months ago, those same people were like, Arman sucks, Arman's boring, Arman doesn't. And now it just flipped like that. It flipped on its head. Now Arman all of a sudden has a fan base. He has people rooting for him, people saying he should be in this fight. So this actually might be a good thing for Arman's career. Literally might be a good thing, because they'll give him, if we look at the rankings, let's look at the lightweight rankings real quick. So obviously he's not going to be fighting either one of these gentlemen or Ilya. So if we look at the rankings, he already beat Charles Oliveira. They're not going to do Max Holloway either, because they just won't, but he would beat Max if he fought Max. Benoit Saint Denis. So they give him BSD. He beats the absolute piss out of BSD. Now it's like, dude, this guy's destroying everybody. He needs a title shot. Now he built the fan base behind him. This might end up being one of the best things that happened to him.
Possibly. I think what's giving him more love is because, like, people are like, yeah, Patty jumping the line, getting the main event for the interim title after Arman had a dominant performance over him. But then on top of that, they're putting this as the main event over a real title fight between Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. They're leapfrogging the GOAT, the female GOAT, against her former teammate, who was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and the undisputed champ. They're leapfrogging that fight. And they're not even having the number one contender fight in the interim title fight. That, I think, is also driving this a little bit more.
I get what you're saying. And I think respect-wise, the Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes fight should be the headliner. Respect-wise. Just, it's a real belt, not an interim belt. It's divisional GOATs, but it's also women's MMA. And there is still a giant portion of this fan base that doesn't give a shit. And this is objectively the biggest and best women's MMA fight you could put on. It's the biggest and best one you could do. And there's still a giant percentage of people in your chat right now that don't give a shit. And that's why they're not the headliners. And it's unfortunate. I can understand, like, in general being like, ugh, at most women's MMA fights, but this is a good one. Like, this is a very good fight that's, like, interesting and defines entire legacies. It's not just a fight. But yeah, that's literally why they're not the headliner.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little frustrating, I think, if you are that person. Well, what Why do you think that Dana took this approach on the first cards? This is the very first card on Paramount and the new TV deal and TV rights deal. Like, do you just think that they looked at Patty and go, look, Patty's all we have right now. He's the biggest probably draw we can get. Islam just fought. Chimaev just fought. Chimaev's injured right now. Like, we don't really have. Alex will step up. I honestly believe that Alex and Gane is going to be the very first CBS fight. I'm just in my mind right now. It's just actually, as we're talking, I'm going, there's just too many things. There's too many coincidences, like coincidences in this whole situation. Like John going, yeah, if it's not on the White House card, okay, I'll just, move on, or I'll do something else, whatever it is. And then you got Alex and you got Gane face to face at these events. And Tom Aspinall now all of a sudden it's the eye and the medical report. And I could just see it happening. I could see it happening, being Gane versus Alex for the very first CBS card. And then they'll stack it with whoever they can for the co-main event.
Like all right. So if it was, hey, this is the first numbered event under the new TV deal. We need as many eyes as humanly possible. We need to show Paramount they didn't just waste $7.7 billion. What are we going to do? Let's look at all the champs right now. You have Tom Aspinall. I'm going to go heavy to light. Tom Aspinall, according to the paperwork, that guy's still blind. You have Alex Bejeda. He's the only question mark because he's not injured, and then seemingly he is available, but who does he fight? There's not like a monster fight to be made unless he moves to heavyweight, but you need Tom to relinquish the belt or do an interim for that to happen, which as of 3 days ago wasn't really a public thing. Then you have middleweight, Khamzat Chimaev. He's hurt. Surprise, surprise. Welterweight belt was just defended 2 freaking weeks ago. Ilia Topuria, that's the title we're talking about now. Alexander Volkanovski is the week after this event. Merab is fighting this week. Pantoja's fighting this week. And then you got a bunch of lady belts, which are not going to headline an event. I think they literally, their hands were tied. Their hands were tied. And they could have put Volk here, but his fight's in Australia. So of course he's going to headline the Australia card. So I think they literally had their hands tied. And I think that's the only reason they invented the interim lightweight belt here, because being out 8 months is not long enough for there to be an interim belt. Mm-hmm. And I bet they're pissed that I'm just saying shit, and I don't know. I would assume that we all found out today when Tom Aspinall posted the medical records and I'm out for a while and blah, blah. I bet the UFC is borderline furious. Like, hey, you fat asshole. Why didn't you tell us that 3 weeks ago? And we could have done an interim heavyweight title instead of an interim lightweight title. I would bet money that they're like, you're killing me, dude. You're killing me. You couldn't have done this 3 weeks ago. And then we could have, this whole interim thing would have been, and it would have made more sense with him. He's actually injured.
Yeah. Whoever is managing his,
he's handled every step of this the wrong possible.
Everyone knows I'm a huge Tom Aspinall fan. I was right on the coattails when he first came into the UFC, and I mean, he's just not handling any of this the right way. His dad's not handling it the right way. Someone take his dad's phone away from him. Just don't let him post anything or talk anything to do, unless just saying like, "Hey, I support my son." That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else just needs to go through some sort of publicist and be like, "Hey, what do you think is the best approach here?" Hire a publicist that is directing you in doing this, because how you guys are handling it is not the right way. I can't wrap my head around it, man. Anyways, okay. Now you've got obviously Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes. You got Sean O'Malley versus Yadong Song or Song Yadong. And you got Umar versus Davison Figueiredo. Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Can I point out a little nuance there?
What's that?
Your boy is not on the main card. And it's interesting how you just went, and then you threw Umar in there like he's on the main card. They buried him. He's not on the main card.
Oh, no. I'm just reading it off of Sherdog, what it is.
Okay.
I'm going down there. Yeah. Oh, so he's not on the main card.
No, he is early.
Okay.
Yeah. They shoved him way down there.
Yeah. They might be doing that for views overseas. A lot of times you'll do, like Bellator used to do that all the time. If you have a fighter that was like from Ireland,
I see what
they
you're
would
saying. Time zones,
first or second fight, or if they had like a Japanese fighter, like they'd put him as the first or second fight on the prelims so that people could watch a little bit earlier over in Japan. That might be the case. I'm just saying things. Like,
I think they're prioritizing exciting over
wow, the salt just
over
keeps
anything.
coming. The salt keeps
I like Umar. I want Umar. I think Umar is the only person that might be able to beat Merab right now. So I want to see that fight again. But if I'm looking at the rest of this actual main card, all of these fights are more exciting than that.
Really?
I think he beats the piss out of Davison Figueiredo. I don't think that fight's close at all.
See, I think it's going to be a tough fight for him. The hand speed of Davison Figueiredo is tough, man. Tough.
Dude,
I just don't know if he's be able. He is older,
small, and he's going to get taken down at will.
Yeah. Look, the fight that I'm excited about though is the Derek Lewis Cortez Acosta fight. That fight, look, because again, the activity is key when you're talking about these fighters. He's fresh in my mind. I just saw what he did his last 2 or 3 fights. I'm excited to see him fight again. This dude literally was trying to fight another week or two. When's the card? When's the next card? December.
This is
in 2 weeks. December.
Are you talking about 324?
No, sorry, 323 is when in 2. He was trying to get on that card.
December 6th.
Yeah, he was trying to get on that card.
Oh, yeah.
And he couldn't get on because they're like, no, we're booked. We're good. We're tired of feeding you. Okay, buddy. Like, go ahead. Let's take some time off. We'll feed you in the January card. That's what we'll do. So he's back on there. Him and Derek Lewis. Great fight. This fight, though, has fight of the night written all over it. Arnold Allen versus Jean Silva. I cannot wait for this fight. Arnold Allen finally getting his ass off the couch because I've been wanting to see him fight because I'm a huge fan. And I get so irritated that he's not a more active fighter. And Jean Silva's fought 15 times since the last time Arnold Allen fought.
Yeah.
And so this to me is like, okay, John Silva coming off of the spinning back elbow. Or
by Diego Lopez.
Yeah, by Diego Lopez. And then
he almost had, it looked like he had Diego on ice skates. He literally had Diego running and then boop, right to the temple.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Yair Rodriguez and Korean Zombie fight. Reminded me, he caught him at the 1 second bell in that fight. But Cortez Acosta, this would be a great fight. Arnold Allen, Jean Silva should be a fantastic fight. And then you got Rose Namajunas. She's another champion that, like, she became champion. Then she now didn't want to, like, cut the weight anymore at 115. Now she's at 125. But she's not active. Like, she's got what, 1 fight in the last year?
No, I think she's been active. Hold on. I think she's been active because I think in the last year she's fought Tracy Cortez. Oh, I guess not. That was 2024. So she only fought 1 time in 2025. Damn, dude, time flies.
Yeah, that was at Noche, wasn't it? Noche and Tracy Cortez when her eyelash came off. Wasn't that?
That was it was a fight. No, I think it was just a random Apex card last July 2024. That was a random Apex card. So she has only fought 1 time in 2025. I'm surprised by that. It felt more.
And that's the thing, is that people were so excited about her after she knocked out Joanna. And then she had some great win. And like, she just was doing so well at 115. And then just the inactivity going to 125. And just people fell in love with her during that moment. And then she went away. People were buying shirts. People were buying shirts that had like Doug Rose on it. I mean, like, I was trying to get one, but they were sold out. I was getting pissed off. I'm like, yo, I want to get one of these shirts. Yeah, they were sold out. Anyways, that to me is going to be a great fight. Alexa Grasso, Rose Namajunas. The reach, the range, the lateral movement of Rose versus the inside the phone booth boxing of Alexa Grasso. And also Alexa Grasso, as we saw, she has the ability to get fights to the ground and get the submission. She did it to Valentina Shevchenko. So the transition and the grappling is there. This will be a fun fight. I'm excited for the fight. I know you're not a big fan of women's MMA, so you're salty and you hate all the women in MMA. But me, I'm not the kid. That's not my kid.
None of that is true. You can't just say things.
You just said I'm just saying things a second ago on this show.
That is true. That is true. But I prefaced it with I'm just saying things right now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. It matters to me. When I look at a fight, I look for 2 things. A, is it fun? And I actually care about that first. Is it fun? And then does it matter? If it's not fun, but does it matter? Are we talking about 2 highly ranked people, or then great. If you have a boring fight that doesn't matter, like any Grant Dawson fight, then what are we doing, right? But this is a fight that matters, and it could be fun. We have Alexa Grasso, former world champion, finally fighting a couple of people. Obviously, she just fought Natalia Silva, but finally fighting a couple people outside of Valentina Shevchenko and Rose Namajunas. This could be a fun fight it could absolutely suck, but it could be a fun fight, but it matters. So I am interested in this fight.
There, just so I want to just to give you a little love, okay? Because no one ever gives you any love in the comments here.
Like 11 times before. He doesn't know what side he's on.
He finally agrees with you. So he said it out loud. I mean, hey, good for him, man. Good for him. Look, I think overall, though, for a very first fight on Paramount, not on CBS, this is a great card. It's an absolutely a great card. I think so far it's shaping up. They may add 1 or 2 fights here, maybe, move one down.
They have to add more. There's no way. We're more than a month out. And the fact that we have, 9 fights announced already, and we're more than a month out, I imagine, because there's a lot of people speculating like, oh, is the UFC just going to, are these cards going to be 9 fights now? No, they didn't spend $1.1 billion a year to get fewer fights. There's no way. There's no way they spend all that money to get fewer fights. You're making that face. You think these cards are smaller now?
Look, I can see the argument to be, let's make less fights and pay the fighters more money. So it doesn't really come out of their budget.
I don't think that's what they're doing.
I'm doing it from a promotion standpoint. I'm going to go ahead and give 9 to 10 fights versus doing 14 to 16 fights, and then take whatever money I have in there and go ahead and trickle it down.
Or
economics, or been shown to work.
You could use the $1.1 billion a year, which is like 40% more than you were getting, and pay them more. I don't think there's fewer fights. I think we're going to end up with, same 14, 16. No, actually, we never get 16, but like anywhere from 12 to 15 fights on our card. I think we end up in the same. We're more than a month out, and we have 9 announced. I think we end up with full-size cards. But there are a lot of people speculating what we don't.
Well, so everything I've heard, look, the White House card's only going to be 6 fights.
That's fine. That's a special
event. I could see, though, and this is my personal history. The CBS cards have always been small shows. All of the CBS cards have been like 2 or 3 prelims, and then there's like 4 fights, and that's it. So you may only get on the CBS cards, you may only get 7 fights.
I just assume 7's a lot. I assume we were only getting the main card, which is 5.
No, 7 fights on like 7 fights period. Paramount, you'll get 2 on Paramount, and they'll kick you over to CBS for like 4 or 5 fights.
But when the UFC would do it on ABC, right? I mean, UFC does events on ABC as well. They weren't at night; they were during the day. Like when they go to Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, they were still full ass cards, 12, 13, 14 fights. I don't know. I would be
different networks handle things differently. I know the UFC has been usually has carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want. And I'm sure they didn't bring the UFC on. So, and the UFC's never been with a network. So like, yo, I'm going to tell you what to do. They're like, no, that's not how this works. Except the very first time they work with Spike, they're like, okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then after they realized the numbers went well, they're like, bend the knee, and they
and
they moved on. Yeah,
it'll be. I mean, listen, if we end up with 9 fight cards instead of 12, 13, 14, 15, my life will get easier. I'll tell you that. Like, and we may trim a lot of the fat. Like, there's a lot of fighters in the UFC that I think we could all agree are like, this is not a UFC level person right now. This is not one of the best fighters in the world. Yeah,
this is very true. This is very true. But like, I give the example of like Joe Silva had hit me up one time and just goes, legit, honestly, this is the problem. Look at this. This is your weight class, Josh. I go, I want a top 5 guy. He's like, this is your weight class. Everybody in the top 15, except for these 2 guys, are available. Or is not available. They're already booked. They're injured. They're having surgery. They're getting married. I've got 2 guys, and these 2 guys have said no, they don't want to fight you, or whatever the issue is. It happens. So they have to have more fighters on roster, because a lot of these fighters are making business decisions instead of just being fighters.
Yeah.
And I think if they did start cutting down their roster from 700 to 800 fighters on a roster, all of a sudden those fighters will start taking fights, especially if they're getting paid a little bit more. If I cut,
they did say,
go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. No, go ahead.
If they cut down on the 700 fighters,
so what they said, no, I'm just fucking with you.
You're such if they cut down on the 700 fighters on the roster, they'll have a little bit more money. Not that as if they don't have money, guys.
I mean, that is a crazy
making that argument, but you have to look at it from a business point of view. Is they're simply saying like, what can we do to keep the same amount of profit coming in and still put fights on. And we'll put together the best fights we possibly can with the best fighters and the most well-known fighters. Let me give you 10 to 12 fights or anywhere between 9 to 12 fights, somewhere in there, and say these are the best fighters available versus some of these early prelim fights. I'm like, let me give you an example. So the Abega,
I mean, that dude bombs though.
He's coming in. Didn't make the weight the first time to fight Patricio.
No. That was
that was a different guy.
It was. This is a middleweight. That was.
Got it.
I forget that dude's name.
Okay. So, but you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm getting at the point where like this guy is, I have seen like his highlights. He looks very impressive. But you sometimes will get the first like 4 fights on the prelim, on the prelims on these smaller cards, and you're like, these guys aren't even like Dana White Contender Series worthy. Like, what happened? How did they end up here? And we got to cut the fat, like you're saying. So
they did say, I think it was Hunter Campbell that said we're gonna start cutting inactive fighters.
Yeah.
So Tom Aspinall screwed.
No, but it does come down to, if you just keep turning down fights because you want to say you're a UFC fighter, we've got to make changes.
Yeah.
And I see here, it says Charlie 2966, less Dagestans, no more boring fights. I will say this. It has been publicly talked about through whether it's the UFC, the PFL, and other fight promotions. They're not signing, they're signing less. They're signing a lot less of fighters from Dagestan and from Russia and from, you know, that Eastern Bloc or whatever, that area there that mainly wrestle. They're signing less of them.
The PFL went like leaned into them heavy, and it was kind of like there's like you would tune into an event and it's like decision. It's like that wasn't fun to watch, and your pacing sucks. Like, geez.
Yeah, the PFL's got some work to do, which I do actually enjoy the new changes that they're making. They're doing a good job with that. Let's go ahead and talk about the main event, Volkanovski versus Lopez. What do you think? Another situation where the number 1 and number 2 contenders got passed over again, Evloev or who was the other? Lerone Murphy, which I never thought Lerone Murphy should have gotten a title shot, even though it was a very impressive knockout over Aaron Pico. I never thought he should have gotten the title shot over Evloev. And I guess for me, kind of an argument is there's a little bit of an argument for Aljo. The history of Aljo at 135 and like I don't know. There's a little bit of a history there, a little bit of a storyline.
I mean, he just lost to Movsvar, but I get it. Or 2 fights ago, he did.
Yeah, he beat Movsvar.
I don't think anybody.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think he got a lot of like, holy shit, I thought you were gonna get smoked and you didn't. You know what I mean? I think he got a lot of like, that was more competitive than I thought it was gonna be. I agree with you though. We could debate the Patty versus Gagey, and there's an interim belt because the champ walked away, whatever. Right? The only real debate there is Arman and where he should or shouldn't be. And he kind of screwed himself. This is more egregious. What they did at 145 is actually like they did literally leapfrog a couple of people. That 2 undefeated guys got skipped over. 2 undefeated guys that have made the case recently got skipped over for Diego Lopez, who has already had a crack at the title and lost. Pretty straightforward fight. Like, he won 1 round where he almost knocked out Volkanovski and just didn't have any more success after that. So it's definitely that one's definitely a little more like, what the hell are we doing here? But in the spirit of whoever left a comment saying no more Dagestanis because wrestling is boring. Okay, well, that is why Diego Lopez is fighting for the belt, because he's not boring. Movsvar Evloev is just slightly less boring than Grant Dawson. And Lerone Murphy is I'm not going to call him boring because he did just knock out Aaron Pico, but I mean, before that, he had a couple of slow paced. The only times he's exciting is if you get in his face. If you don't get in his face, he's just going to play the outside game.
Yeah, he was out there making business decisions mainly before he fought Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico basically put too much pressure and walked right into something.
Yeah,
he was trying to make the
fight, having success.
Yeah, he was. For the 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes that the fight went on. I said some dude in the chat. He basically said, "I don't hate if it's Alex's retirement fight," which is being widely talked about right now. Is that it might be Alex Volkanovski's retirement fight, which would make sense if they're doing it there in Australia. And I would back it 100%. If he wants it to be Lopez, he wants to see if he can go out on top. He's one of those guys, though. I don't feel like he could walk away.
He literally was like, when he stepped up the second time to fight Islam,
Mhm.
he was like, before they called me, I was depressed. I was drinking like crazy. He was like, if I don't have a fight booked, I go crazy and I've got nothing. Like, he was like, I just start drinking and I have nothing to work towards. And he like has been very open about what it does to him mentally to not have a fight book. So
Yeah.
retiring seems, and maybe he has peace now with his social media because he does the cooking stuff, but
I
retiring
think,
seems tricky.
well, I think some of it is that he's got 4 daughters now,
Yeah.
no boys. His wife did it to him again. And he's got a beautiful family. Absolutely just seems like the salt of the earth kind of guy. He's very active within his community, also too with the guys in his gym. They all love him. He's one of those guys. You can just tell when you get around him, you just love the energy he brings, all the way around. Love he's doing his cooking stuff, but I could see him walking away. I could. There's a lot that goes through a fight. Look, you've got to step away now. You're never going to step away on top. Never. So if you get a chance to get this win over Diogo Lopez and move on, I tip my hat to you, man. I really honestly do. Like the way that Dustin Poirier did it, and if he stays away, because he's been pretty active on like his social media and other
He's
stuff.
going to rehab.
It seems like he's real. Is he really?
Yeah, he said it. I'm not guessing. He said it. Well, and I'm sorry. I don't know if he full blown said rehab, but he said, I'm getting sober. And not like in a funny way. Like he's like, yeah, I need to do something here.
Yeah, I mean, these are the battles that kind of go along with every athlete that steps away right after. Is okay. What do you do to fill your time? You hang out
All day, every day. Yeah, like
because your friends they're your friends, but when you're fighting, right, you're training through the day, and then you go out with them at night. You only see them maybe on the weekends, but now you're at home all day. You're not at the gym every day grinding away like you were for 6 hours a day. They're still at work.
We're just drinking all day for no reason whatsoever.
They're still at work. And guess what? All of those guys, they all want to hang out with you. So what do? They say, hey, it's Thursday, man. We're going to go have drinks at lunch. Okay. Why don't we call up Dustin, or why don't we call up so-and-so, the fighter that just retired that they love hanging out with, but now they know he's at home not doing anything. They're like, come hang out with us. It's Friday. Let's fucking get the party started early. That shit happens all the time. And it's hard to say no because you're like, look, I ain't got nothing else to do. Fucking just sitting around.
He's got money.
Yeah.
It's not like
he's got plenty of it.
Yeah, he said, this is the AI overview. Working on getting sober, committed to the process after struggling with alcohol and other substances during post-retirement adjustment period. He announced this on social media.
Wow.
Saying that the road to sobriety is taking things one step at a time. So, yeah, I mean, it could be literally retired, all the free time in the world, and you just kind of succumb.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, he's a great guy, man. He's an absolute great guy. Love everything about him. So I wish him nothing but the best. I didn't hear that. So the fact that you said something, I didn't hear
he
that.
posted it. Yeah.
Look, okay. So look, on this fight, Diego Lopez and Volk, if it is his retirement fight, looking forward to seeing it. I can see why doing it in Australia, walk away. If you get the win, you're the champ. If you don't get the win, it is what it is. But still, I think he needs to walk away. He's 38 years old, 37, 38. Volk? I think he's made plenty of money. He's the biggest draw in Australia, I think, because he's so fun to watch. So
he's a good dude. Like he has a personality. It's not just the fighting, and he's 37. He has like a good personality. He's funny. Those skits that promoted the Ilya fight were absolutely hilarious. They were legit good.
He's good, man. He's good. He does a great job on his social media, and everyone loves him. I think because if you take a look at his backstory, right? Played rugby, was walking around 246 pounds, and then I see some of his old fights, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, you were a fucking tank. You were built like a brick shithouse, right? And then he's all the way down to 145, looking slender and just a beast, at 145. So he's fought at 155, and then like, jeez. I mean, you can honestly say, he's the only guy that ever gave Islam a really a tough challenge outside of Arman the first time they fought, outside of those. But look, there is a little buzz going around right now and I'm going to take this in a completely different direction. We're talking about the White House card, that Khabib was offered $100 million to fight on the White House card as the main event.
Would he do it?
No.
Which is crazy because he's like, it's a crazy It's crazy not to. I get the promise he made his family and all that stuff, and I'm not that principled, so good for him. It's crazy because he is doing other things to make money, meaning like he's not like generationally wealthy. Like he is actively doing things to make money. So when somebody offers you that much money, it's crazy not to.
He's generationally wealthy.
Then why is he tweeting crypto stuff and
He's
like other ads and things like
doing
that?
just fine. Like he's got
Oh,
generational money.
Definitely do $100 million.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I would say maybe even more. I would say
well,
probably closer to
crazy.
probably closer to 250.
And good for him.
I'm just
250.
Yep, somewhere around that.
Not rubles.
No, we're talking millions of dollars. I mean, I would say Islam's probably closer to 100 million.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've got a huge following in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, like these countries and people there, they own tons and tons of businesses linked with these people. These aren't just like the little ones you guys see on your social media, but the rest of them are all just done in person, and they have connections, man. Everything they do is, I mean, look at what even Dana came out and was like, yeah, he basically gave him like a $50 million property after he beat Connor. I mean,
Yeah,
he's generational wealth, definitely, for sure.
Multiple. Well, then I guess I get turning it down.
Yeah, multiple gyms in multiple places. I mean, he's got a huge new facility in Dagestan, beautiful, that Umar and Usman's dad had built for them, where like there's a new facility for all the Team Khabib guys to train. Just fantastic, man. Fantastic. They're doing fine. Not the money is not the issue whatsoever. You know, they live a very modest life. You know, I know they travel all around, but none of that stuff is coming out of their pocket.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Who would you want to see him? Let's just all speculate right here. Okay, let's get this thing to the 2-hour mark. Who would you want to see him fight though?
Khabib?
Yeah.
Man, not Connor. We saw that. That's not even remotely close. I don't need to see. Actually, that was close. That was the first time Khabib gave up a round in a fight.
And it would be at 170.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, what weight class we talking? He's looking a little thick. All right, let's look at 170. He's never going to fight Islam. I think he just does to JDM, and we're assuming he's in shape. He does to JDM what Islam did to JDM. Kamaru Usman probably takes him down too. I mean, we're just talking the same matchups that we're talking for Islam. So maybe a Kamaru Usman, like a Legends matchup.
What if
you drag GSP's ass out of retirement and do that one?
Yeah, they try to get that multiple times. They just never could get it to go. But yeah, that would be a fight. Definitely. I think everyone would love to see. But both of them are, you know, GSP's a lot older than, not a lot older than Khabib, but I think that ship has sailed for GSP. So
damn, GSP's 44.
What about a Shavkat fight?
It basically any fight you could talk about for Islam, you could just throw at Khabib as well. So that's why I think I would lean into the old former world champion part of it and not do a contender and do like a Kamaru Usman.
Interesting. Yeah. You know, just off the top of my head.
Or Hamzat.
Nah, too big.
He was a 70 pounder.
Well, I mean, not GSP, but Habib's walking around right now 193, 194.
Yeah.
You know, Hamzat's walking around 210, 212, like making the 85. I mean, that guy will be at 205 here soon enough. He'll be there soon enough. Outside of that, man, look, overall, why do you think, let's just wrap this up. Why do you think the UFC is hating on the wrestlers right now? Especially going into this, is it all because wrestling styles just don't sell? You think CBS and Paramount had something to do with the matchmaking on this? Like, we cannot have what just happened with Islam and JDM, and there was another wrestling fight.
Hamzat
and DDP.
I don't know. I doubt the network put their hands in it, because do the networks have any influence over NFL matchups? And obviously those schedules are set 8 months in advance, and you don't always know what team will be good or not good. Like, look, aren't the Jaguars good out of nowhere? Yeah. So like, you don't always know that.
Colts have the best record in the league today. They're the best record in the league.
Huge Colt fan, yeah. So like, you don't always know that, but you do know which teams are popular, which ones are not popular. And I don't think the networks dictate any of that. They just trust the fan base will show up. So I doubt there's any network influence here. But I do think there's a you get a deal like that and that much money, there's a ton of pressure to deliver and deliver immediately. You don't have a very long ramp when you're getting $1.1 billion. So I think there's a lot of pressure to just be exciting right off the rip. So avoiding an Arman for now and doing a Patty type fight. And I think trying to avoid some of the boring matchups, despite Grant Dawson being a featured prelim, I think trying to avoid some of the boring matchups is probably we need to get out there. We need to put numbers on the board. We need to have a couple of good, exciting fights to get going.
Wow, Jacob's been living a life of disappointment, huh? Fucking Colts fan and an Indiana Pacers fan.
He's had a couple of good years though, because the Pacers almost won it last year, and he's a Michigan football fan, so they did win it 2 years ago. So he's like, and this year the Colts, like he could have had like the best 3 years of his life if the Pacers managed to pull it off.
Yeah, if the Colts can get it done in the playoffs. I mean, the Colts have the best running back, I think, in the league right now. I mean, Bijan Robinson's probably the best, but I mean, geez, Jonathan Taylor's absolutely fantastic.
Do you think the network do you think CBS is like, hey, no wrestlers?
I think that, no, I don't think they said that. They just said like, look, we need to spark this thing off. We can't have a very dominant and controlled fight main event. We need a slobber knocker. So give us something in those first couple. And then you're not trying to appease the network. What you're trying to appease are the fans. And the new people. If you get those first couple shows and they end up being shitty, the network's not going to be, they'll be upset at the situation, but they're not going to tell you how to run your business because the UFC has been proven to work.
Yeah. And the deal's the deal. They're going to back out of it after 3 bad events.
Done. The thing I think for them that's the most frustrating part is they're probably going like, damn, like they're probably going like, we got to have a good fight to get the new fans involved. Because we need to be able to upsell our Paramount Plus coming up. And
they're raising the price too.
They're raising the price. Did they say what it was going to be?
I forget, but I mean, it's cheap. It's not $80 for a card. I'll tell you that.
It'll be like $12.99. It might even go all the way up to $19.99.
I get it included. I have Walmart Plus. I get it included. I get it included with Walmart Plus.
Yeah,
and Walmart Plus was only $50 for the year, like yesterday.
Yeah. But people were telling me, because Walmart Plus also is that they don't do any upcharges if you buy something from Walmart and they deliver it to your house with no upcharge.
Same price.
Whereas like DoorDash and all this other shit,
they
charge you like a fee on all the delivery stuff. Walmart doesn't do that. So if you get Walmart Plus, you also get like Hulu, Paramount.
No Hulu. You get Paramount, Burger King discounts, gas discounts.
You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that.
And you don't need to do Paramount. You could choose Peacock instead. I use Walmart for it's free delivery.
Yeah.
And the price isn't marked up. The only thing you got to pay is a tip. I do it for that reason. And then I just happen to get Paramount. It's great.
So there was a little bit of a controversy over something new. Let's talk about that real quick. Is that Brazil had put out a fight card and talked about basically Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira were slated to fight.
Not just Brazil, the UFC, the official UFC Brazil Twitter account, right?
Yes.
They tweeted it and then I assume deleted it immediately. I hope that's real. I mean, that's people in the chat earlier were saying they should have done Charles versus so-and-so for the interim belt. Dude, you cannot keep giving Charles Oliveira lightweight title cracks. You can't keep doing it. The guy, there's so many at this point. But you can give him a crack at the BMF belt because he is objectively a BMF. This guy gets after it. Most finish wins in divisional history, most submission wins in the history of the UFC. He's one of the most popular and most well-liked fighters ever. And he did it the old-fashioned way. He doesn't speak English, so he didn't do it running his mouth. He did it just by going out there and finishing people. So Charles Oliveira to fight for the BMF belt would be awesome. The fact that him and Max Holloway, I think they fought once like 15 years ago, but the fact that they haven't fought in the last 5 years is crazy. So I would love that fight.
Yeah, I want to say Max's shoulder popped out, or someone, or maybe Charles, someone's shoulder popped out. Somebody's shoulder got injured in the first like probably 2 minutes, I believe is what it was. The fight ended up going to the other fighter and they ended up winning. But yeah, that fight needs to be actually ran back. And for the BMF title, I'd love to see it. 100%. Absolutely love to see it. There was also another thing that happened. Garry's had a lot to say about Kamaru Usman. Chirping. Ian Garry does his best at the chirping, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you and basically like what it goes is he goes, Kamaru Usman goes, before every fight, you say, I'm going to KO him. You just lie. You run every fight. It's just boring. And this has always been my knock on Ian Garry. No matter how much I love like his banter, the way he gets after people, the way he talks, and he sells the fight. Like, I'm gonna KO him. This guy doesn't get outside of 2. Bro, you haven't finished anyone in 7 fights. It's like 7 fights ago was the last time you had a finish. They've all gone the distance. You've inked out some wins. You wrestled the stand-up guy. Like you avoid the striking. You don't have the pop to knock people out. You're explosive and you're fast, but you have no power. And that, I mean, I like the way he moves. I like his kickboxing. Like that back oblique kick is nasty. What he did to Bilal, it's like, ooh. I think it's even better than like Holly Holm and John Jones's. It's nasty. He's quick with it. It's got power on it. But he always comes out and says, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to finish him. I'm going to do this. You haven't finished anyone in 7 fights. So why are people saying that he deserves the next title shot?
Winning solves everything. He keeps winning.
He does.
I mean, obviously he lost to Shavkat. Shavkat's not in the equation. He says he will be in April or something, but he's not in the equation right now. February. Oh, that's sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think Ian should get a title shot. I don't think he's the next up. I think it has to be, if you're going to stick with, what we've got, I think it's got to be Michael Morales. I do not think it should be Usman either. Now, Usman has been doing cringy. He's so cringy, but he's been doing a good job making the case because he's like, listen, at 170, I have only lost to one person. In my entire career, I only have lost to one person at this weight class. He's not wrong. And I thought he beat Leon in the rematch. And the first time he beat him for 24 minutes in a 25-minute fight. So all of a sudden, it's like, that is a decent case. The problem is he has not been very active. Obviously, he just beat Buckley a little while ago, but he had not been active really leading up to that. There was another mix. Like, yeah, you lost to one guy, but you lost to him 2 times in a row. And then you lost to, or at least sandwich in between or whatever, you lost to freaking Hamzat. So I don't think either one of them should get a title shot. It'll probably be Usman because Ali manages them both and he'll put it together. He'll get paid on both sides of that. It's I don't know. That feels, and this might sound crazy, that feels like too easy of a fight.
Ooh.
Michael Morales is like, we
might
don't know.
It
might be, but we don't know. And that's the beauty of undefeated.
Yeah. That is the beauty. Look, I look at
he's too young, Usman's too old.
I look at a couple things. I go, Ian Garry. Like I look at Shavkat and I go, look, Ian Garry took your back and controlled you for a little bit there. He took you down and took your back. That's wild to think that you're going to have a lot of success against guys like Islam. That's one. And then I go look with Ian Garry. Like you were on your hands and knees running away from Carlos Pratas on the ground. Like that's an embarrassing moment. And that was in the 5th round. You were gassed out. You were tired. You get your face beat in for the last like 2.5 minutes of that fight. It was bad. I mean, it looked really bad. Like if I'm at home watching, like that guy won the fight, like the way he's acting right now in the 5th, just a bad look. So I look at that, and then there was another fight that he had. What other fight did he have that just like everyone's like,
Ian? He had the wrestle MVP.
Yeah, and then he was chasing after.
He was losing the striking exchanges. But you could, and I agree. He had to literally had to wrestle. He was going to lose that fight if he didn't. But you could argue, well, he's well-rounded. He made good decisions.
Yeah, he made fight IQ decisions to win the fight. Yes, absolutely.
Also, people in the chat are saying Morales has no wrestling. He literally is a national wrestling champion
from Ecuador.
Yeah, fine, but that's not no wrestling.
And his mom and dad, I believe, are judoka Olympians or national champions.
Yeah,
he can multi-time national champion.
He can grapple and wrestle.
So he's got. And if you guys watch any of his videos, because he's been a lot more active on social media these days, and not just doing the twerking thing. Like video. Angela's checking him out over there. I don't know what he's doing, but
objectively great looking dude. Both him and Peyton Talbot. So if you're gonna if you're gonna diversify the roster, at least they're good looking.
You're wild for that one. But then, somebody else chimed in today on the Kamaru Usman situation, as well as like a little bit of the Ian Garry thing, but mainly the Kamaru Usman situation. I'm gonna go ahead and play this right now. Is our boy T Wood.
When you hear Dana say that Kamaru is the greatest welterweight of all time, do you roll your eyes and just say, like,
Kamaru is not the greatest welterweight of all time? Nobody go. He's saying that because, okay, I'm the realest. I had the realest route. I had the realest reign. I was a person that dealt with the most stuff behind the scenes and still managed to win that I don't even speak about, right? I fought all the top contenders that were not big trash talkers. Nobody wanted to say a bad word about Damian Maia, Robbie Lawler, or Wonder Boy, right? I fought all the up-and-coming guys. I fought even Usman and Kobe and Teal, those are all up-and-coming guys, right? He's not the greatest welterweight of all time. What he is the one that kissed the most ass. He's the one that, hey, let's have Uncle Dana on my podcast. Let me accept every fight. Let me go to Vegas and sit and just loiter in his office every week and just try to stay in his good graces and accept whatever offer. If you do that long enough, you will be one of these guys that end up in the category where now you'll be rewarded because you took last minute notice fights, you fought injured, you didn't complain about money, you didn't ask for more, you didn't ask questions, and you always was trying to be goody two-shoe and brown nosing. So yeah, he's the biggest brown noser in the welterweight division. He is a good fighter though. He's a good fighter, he stayed disciplined, but that's what he is. He's not the greatest. Well, how can you even say that? Once you say he's the greatest and you're trying to say he's better than George, like nobody.
Is this a movie? How long is this?
Oh, that's it. That was it. I was wrapping it up. Don't be salty. Fair or foul?
It's not even a debate between those two knuckleheads who the greatest of all time is. It's freaking George St. Pierre. It's not a debate. It's not a debate. Yeah. George St. Pierre has 8 title defenses, and he won the belt in 2 different divisions. Tyron Woodley does have a couple title defenses, but 2 of them are against Wonder Boy, Damian Maia. Like, yeah, all right, fine. But like Damian Maia, Darren Till, these are his title defenses versus what George St. Pierre had to do before USADA. Like and I'm saying before USADA, not because GSP was cheating, because half of the people he fought were confirmed. So it's, I don't even think it's, I don't even know how the hell we're debating those two. Kamaru Usman, there's just some recency bias, there's some recency bias there. Kamaru had a couple of solid wins, obviously, but he only defended his belt 5 times.
Yeah.
It felt like longer because he wasn't very active, but it was only 5 times. And 2 of those, it was to like 3 people. He fought Kobe twice. He fought Jorge Masvidal twice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's look, I put GSP ahead of everyone. There's nothing's going to change my mind. Not only did he win a second title, but like, it's just not going to change my mind.
Yeah.
He fought like people didn't think that Matt Hughes was beatable. He literally lost him the first time, came back, and then dominated him the second time. I was sitting front row watching them fight in both fights, actually. But that second fight was just a thing of work, of beauty. Watching him, Matt Hughes hit him with a double leg, went up to the body lock, and in midair, George St. Pierre switched one wizard to the other side to wizard the body and then get out of that takedown. I was like, oh, no way Matt's winning this fight tonight. There is no way.
George St. Pierre, I don't want to say invented, but he popularized the whole kick the leg, kick the leg, kick the leg. They're going to block the leg, kick him in the head. And he knocked out Matt Hughes, and that's how he got that belt. He kicked the leg over and over. Matt brought his hand down to block that, which I don't know why you're blocking kicks with your hand, but fine. This is MMA in 2006, and the head kick, it just came right up to the head. BJ Penn, I was a diehard BJ Penn fan. Yeah. He beat prime BJ Penn. He beat Matt Hughes twice. He did get knocked out by Matt Serra, but he avenged that. Beat Josh Koscheck, who was supposed to be a better wrestler than him. Beat John Fitch, who was supposed to be a better wrestler than him. Beat Thiago Alves, who's to the gills. Dan Hardy win, not great, but Josh Koscheck again, Jake Shields, Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, Johnny Hendricks, Michael Bisping after years off. He's the welterweight goat.
Yeah, I mean, he had some dog fights. He had to dig deep in a lot of these fights. The Johnny Hendricks fights, holy shit.
Yeah,
He literally you would never have known he won that fight after the way he looked in the
they
back.
got after.
Yeah.
And pre-USADA, because USADA showed up, Johnny Hendricks' body changed dramatically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything on that. But Zeke6629, I know it's been a little bit, man, since you sent this. Says, is UFC happy Ilia Topuria stepped down because he's always trying to pick his fights? Arman will face the winner of Patty versus Justin. I don't think that they're happy. He's a cash cow for them. Ilia Topuria has all of Spain behind him, a little bit of Georgia behind him. I mean, he's got backing. I'd say he's probably number 1, number 2, number 3, somewhere in that top 2 of the biggest pay-per-view draws. I got him ahead of Alex. I got him ahead of John Jones. I don't know where he is in the Chimaev range because I haven't seen the numbers on Chimaev. The only person that gets above him, I think, is Islam. And I'm not, and there he goes again. But I will say this. Ilia Topuria, from what I understand, I think he just passed Islam in some followers or whatever it is on his Instagram.
Well, but he did it. The speculation is he bought him.
Maybe
it wasn't for Islam. It was for when he fought Max, maybe, or when he fought Charles. Because there's websites you can just go to, like socialblade.com and stuff like that, which just tracks your social media. And Ilia went, I don't remember the numbers, but he went from he got like a 600,000 or a 300,000 boost in Instagram followers in like a 24-hour period. It's like, oh, look who bought followers just to have a little bit more than his opponent, which that's exactly what it seemed like on paper.
I mean, yeah, they're saying that he barely started passing Islam just yesterday or the day before, or something like that. So who knows? But there is, like I said, there's a lot of news out on him right now, going through the divorce, a lot of news on him and his wife, being seen with other people, and just kind of like a weird thing. Maybe it's bringing him to the forefront more so in his own country or wherever he's living right now. You never know. I mean, you get more of your followers are based in your area, and sure, he's more of a worldwide star. I think he's developed that, but I think people that were casuals of him before are probably now following him a little bit more intensely because you're going through a public divorce, and that's what gets people to follow you. It's the drama. So if you can,
all I gotta do is leave TIFF, and I'll end up with a YouTube play button.
Yeah, you never know, man. But we all
you must have a play button, right?
Oh yeah, I've got a couple.
What do you mean?
Oh, you mean a play button? Yeah, I got for the YouTube. Yeah, I got a play button.
Yeah, after 100,000, you can.
Yeah, we got one for that. Yeah.
Do you get two? You and John have one?
No, you only get one. So
how'd you decide who got it? You?
He's like, I don't want it.
That's crazy.
I was like,
if Jacob and I get one, I don't know what to do. They should let you buy a second one.
They should let you buy a second one.
Yeah. What if
but then they don't want them floating around.
I mean, your name's on it.
Yeah.
Like you can sell it. All right. Sorry. Way off.
I don't know. Yeah. Way off topic. Way off topic. All right. Well, hey, I think that's going to wrap up the show. We did 2 hours and 12 minutes, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds.
Okay, no.
There you go, my man. I had a good time with you tonight, man. It was fun.
I'm an easy chat. I don't know. That's why these people hate my guts. They'll warm up eventually.
I think you won over quite a bit of them tonight.
Just being me again every week. Same guy.
I think. All right, guys. So, hey, we're going to continue to do this on Sunday nights. As long as I'm in town or as long as I'm around or whatever it is, we're going to get this thing figured out. But look, I know I didn't drop a show last night, but we did drop one, I believe, on Saturday morning or Friday. It was the Mike Bond interview. Check it out. Works for MMA Junkie. Great interview. Mad respect for him stepping in. Look, letting the fighter interview the media. Those guys can probably be a little bit skeptical of that. And so we had a great conversation. Awesome time chatting with him. And also tomorrow morning, we dropped Dean Thomas. I had Dean Thomas on the pod last week, and we will drop that interview tomorrow. And get ready for Tuesday Night Live. We got some action going on for Tuesday Night Live. Special guests will be joining us as well. Can't announce that yet because I got to get confirmation on 1 or 2 of them possibly joining the show. Also, join our memberships. We have a $4.99 membership that enters you into like a raffle draft kind of thing. I just go through and basically pick winners. And I try to break it up and just try to send you guys off some boxes of Element, which you guys can use use the link in the descriptions down below. Get a bonus package with every time you purchase through that link down below in the descriptions. Drink Element, stay hydrated, stay salty, ladies and gentlemen. And also, We Want Picks, which is where my boy Angelo is from. WeWantPicks.com/offer. Use the promo code and still check it out. I got a check from you, by the way, on the We Want Picks thing. Thanks, buddy. No,
you logged in and did it?
No, I didn't log in.
Oh.
I'm not logging in for that money. But anyways, check it out. Look, I'm going to let Angelo give you the pitch on this. WeWantPicks.com/offer. He offers a platform that helps you guys do the best bets and figure out the best bets you guys can make in the combat sports market. Go ahead, Angelo. Give me your pitch.
No, we literally put together the greatest offer in this space has ever seen, period. If you're heading into a fight week and you just want to see some picks, we have a whole list of picks. It's me, Jacob, we have Artem, we have Bet Sam, all making picks. This is who we think wins. Then we have people making bets as well. And we've divided up. I'm pretty conservative, sticking with money lines, round lines for the most part. Jacob's a little more crazy. He'll chase some giant paydays. Artem and Betsam kind of split. We have an artificial intelligence, a neural net artificial intelligence. I didn't code it. We have a developer who did it. We actually had a guy reach out. So our shows existed about 3 years. We've grown pretty quickly, but like steady enough that it's real growth, not like, overnight huge. And we had a guy reach out that was like, hey, I'm a nuclear physicist and I have developed this program that picks fights, whatever. I'd like to talk to you about it. I ignored it. I absolutely ignored it because I was like, I know my audience. They're not nuclear physicists. Then he like emailed again. I was like, all right, let me talk to him. Turns out he is a nuclear physicist. So he developed an AI, a neural net AI. Then he developed this other tool called the data analyzer, another tool that's a fight simulator. We have a DraftKings optimizer, a FanDuel optimizer. It's freaking $10, and it is literally the greatest offer in this space has ever seen. And the reason it's $10 is I go to Costco. Josh, you go to Costco?
Yep.
I subscribe to that hot dog model. It's a phenomenal, delicious, big, juicy hot dog and a drink for $1.50. It's been $1.50 forever. Arizona iced tea has been $1 forever. They didn't change the can size. They didn't play games. It's always been $1. And I subscribe to that logic. Like betting on MMA is a ton of fun. It's also volatile. These are fist fights. So $10, I'd rather have thousands. We have 4,000. I'd rather have thousands of people enjoying that content, using the tools, making a couple bucks here and there than trying to chase a couple of sharks at $100 a month or whatever bullshit. So it's $10 a month. You use Josh's promo code and still. We should just change it to Punk, by the way. It was and still because there was a couple of you, but you unlock all of it instantly. It's the greatest offer in the space ever had. Objective fact.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work for you guys, it's $10, man. You can just cancel
gives
it.
A shit.
Easy to cancel. And if you end up loving it, you can also do a lifelong membership. What is it, 300?
We do. It is 100 for a year, 300 forever.
It just gets cheaper the longer you buy. If you buy it for a year, it's cheaper. If you buy it for a lifetime, it's obviously the cheapest, but it's up to you. But you got to see if you like it first. So use that link down below in the descriptions or use the promo code and still at WeWantPicks.com/offer. Hey guys,
we already have UFC 324 bets on the board.
There you go. Check it
Those
out.
Odds dropped.
If you guys want to play some money, and by the way, somebody here, Orion428, don't hate your guts, man. Means that they're actually kind of warming up to you. Like it. I like to see it. My man Angelo, thanks for joining us from We Want Picks. You guys check out and subscribe to his channel as well at We Want Picks. Also follow our other channel called Bad Takes, where we give you guys the worst takes in MMA and combat sports, which is just free. We do that for you guys for free. So go ahead and check that out. Subscribe to us over there at Bad Takes. Again, we'll see you on Sunday nights on the live show. And thank you guys so much. We are out.